The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stop! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On this massive Overreaction Monday, November 4th, 2024, this program starts now. Football is amazing, and obviously the entire globe is chit-chatting about tomorrow, which is the NFL trade deadline day. By 4 p.m., all the teams can make their final moves and final pushes to potentially go on and be a team that wins a Lombardi or a team that's fighting for the number one overall pick.
Hell yeah. Ooh.
There are teams that I think are separating themselves from the rest of the pack. Shout out to the Ravens and to the Lions. They seemingly are the tops of the tops. And then there's a bunch of teams that are crap. Just absolute crap. The NFL Week 9 Sunday slate was magical. We got new storylines developing. We have a coach fired because they lost to a team that we didn't even know if they could make it into the 12-team playoff for college ball. The Panthers get a win. The Saints fire their coach. And seemingly everything in that building is collapsing, including players, captains, not wanting to walk to the locker room afterwards because they're so embarrassed. Instead, thinking about leaving the stadium in their pads and never coming back. That's what NFL Week 9 was all about. There was moments that we're going to talk about forever. For instance, this one, Saquon Barkley, Philadelphia Eagles, spin move, That's a meme that'll last forever. We posted it on Instagram. I think it got like 7 or 8 million views immediately. Over 400,000 likes. How could you not like that? Football is on top of the world. Then there's moments with America's team, with a loss to the Falcons where people think it's all over. And you got Dak Prescott doing our job, giving a hot take about his own team in the middle of the game.
What was that?
What did he say?
What was that?
Well, he fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Oh. And I'll tell you what, they would go on to score at that. It would become a close game, but the Falcons get a win, and now everybody's starting to wonder, are the Cowboys dead? Mike McCarthy has 1 year left. This is the year. 1 year left on his contract. You know, Rex Ryan's on Get Up this morning saying, Coach McCarthy's a lame duck coach, and so is the rest of his staff. They know that. They understand that. They know that. They continue to lose games, and it doesn't look easy going forward.
No.
This thing could only steamroll into more ugly, into more Jerry Jones going, I don't know what happened. Well, Jerry, what potentially happened was this offseason when he had an opportunity to go all in, like you said you were going to do.
Oh, yeah.
You could have got some guys, maybe filled in for some holes. You bring Ezekiel Elliott back. He's not even traveling with the team because there's something going on back behind the scenes. And then Derrick Henry, a guy that you couldn't afford, which you certainly could have tried to at least. He's having a career year with the Baltimore Ravens. They're maybe going to go on and win the Lambeau. So I don't know what I could have done. There's a lot of shit apparently you could have done. And now the Dallas Cowboys are outside looking in very much so for the foreseeable future. And then, you know, there was a primetime game.
Sure. Good one.
In Minnesota.
Great one.
Between the Indianapolis Colts and the Minnesota Vikings. And obviously the Indianapolis Colts were talked about a lot, you know, this past week, strictly because they made a big-time quarterback change. You know, Joe Flacco is going to be the starting quarterback for the foreseeable future because he better suits the team right now. And Anthony Richardson a week ago obviously did something that no quarterback in the history of the NFL has ever done in tapping out. Need to put Joe Flacco in there and risk we're going to lose the locker room. I might have been wrong.
Maybe.
I thought this Colts team was going to win the Super Bowl. I heard a lot of people with big brains in the football world come onto the screen and go, is this Colts team going to win the Super Bowl? What are we even doing? Now, I will say, a lot of season left for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
The AFC South is certainly still up for grabs, especially with everything that the Houston Texans are going through. Don't look now, though. The Titans might get hot.
Whoa.
Massive win yesterday. Both the
team.
Titans and the Panthers winning, and the Jacksonville Jaguars almost against the Eagles come back in there. But nonetheless, AFC South still attainable. So you move to Joe Flacco. I think we have a team. They've invested a lot of money. I had eyes on this team. We go to every home game. I think they're good. I think if they get some quality quarterback play and they get a professional in there, they're going to go on and do it. Well, their efficiency on the offensive side had everybody on earth doing this, literally during the game. Big yawn. I don't blame them for yawning. I think everybody that was watching that game was yawning. Also, sometimes, anxiety, a little bit of nerves when you're in a big moment. Your body can naturally react by yawning. Doesn't mean you're checked out or tired. But I'll tell you what, watching that offense, hard not to check out and get tired. I was wrong about this Indianapolis Colts team. I don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl.
I don't think so.
I don't think. I'm not sure. I don't think. And now, when are you going to start thinking about the future? When are you going to start looking at the future of the program? Because last night, the Colts offense had 6 points, the lowest of their year. Obviously, had a big-time Grover Stewart punch-out, strip sack with Kenny Moore picking that thing up and going crazy. 0 red zone drives. Okay, didn't even make it in there one time.
Come on.
13 first downs, the fewest of the year. 227 yards of offense, the lowest of the year. And 0.35, lowest of the year. So, bad outing by Joe Flacco in the offense. Worst rushing performance that they've had all year as well. I mean, just what could go wrong did go wrong on the offensive side of the ball. And in the second half, Sam Darnold just started cooking. Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson going bananas. Aaron Jones was doing his thing. KOC was showcasing that their building, whenever they're rolling, can be a very, very, very big advantage. And this is 2 times now in the last couple of years where the Colts have had to lead at halftime in Minnesota, and then go on to just shit the bed in the second half and completely lose the game. Now the future of the Indianapolis Colts is going to be discussed by everybody. I got a lot of people telling me how dumb I was because I was the one that made the decision to put Joe Flacco in at quarterback over Anthony Richardson, like I have any say in the Colts building. But I did have a feeling that if you want to have a good future with AR, he's got it like that. That's just a bad. That's a bad pick right there. That's a bad decision right there. There was a lot of things that happened. There was a couple third downs that were good, in rhythm and timing, but everything else seemingly not great. Brian Flores' defense, he's a problem.
Exactly.
A lot of people. The Minnesota Vikings now sitting at a commanding 6-2 in an NFC North that is run by the Lions, but certainly three-headed monster in that particular division, the best of all time, but the best in the league right now. But boy, I could have been wrong. And I'm bummed out about it.
Sure.
Yeah, very bummed out.
Sure.
Because this Indianapolis Colts team has been around now. Pillar positions. Obviously Jeff Flacco's been around a long time. He was starting in there.
Sure.
But he got center guard in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Offensive line, old dogs. Been around a long time. Jonathan Taylor, been around a long time. Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, been around long time.
That's right.
Zaire Franklin, E.J. Speed, Kenny Moore on defense side, been around.
Flying around.
Dogs. Zaire Franklin, great pick too in the first half.
Yeah, good hands.
Defense was eating there. Grover Stewart's doing the same. Kenny Moore taking it. We got a lot of vets. We got a lot of guys that have been around a long time. We got a lot of guys that can go on and win. And then in a big game against a team that's going to be around in the end. This Minnesota Vikings team, and I know we've been saying it seemingly every other year about this Vikings team. We go, this Vikings team's different. This is a different Vikings team. This is a different Vikings team. Feels like it actually is a different Vikings team this year. Now, they lost the game. Obviously, the 1972 Dolphins were the only team to ever go, without a loss throughout an entire season. But, what are Colts going to do? And the future is not easy here. We got the Bills coming up.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
We got the Bills coming up on Sunday. Then we got the Jets on prime time. Then I think we got the Lions. Okay.
Oh.
Then we get the Lions, and then we're at the Patriots. Thank God.
I don't know about
that. We need that one to come as fast as possible.
about that.
And then we got a bye week, where we can reset some things. And then Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars there to end it up. If we can get to the end of this schedule and still be in contention, you're talking about me still being able to talk some shit. But boy, Bills, Jets, Lions over the next 3. Don't love it as we're trying to find our identity. And to AR, I think you learned his lesson.
I think so.
Don't you think?
Yeah, get him back in.
Can't tap out.
Can't do it.
Can't do that. You're the guy.
He knows now.
The way Chris Collins, exactly. He learned he understands. And the way Chris Collinsworth described it last night, as the video of him yawning was shown on the screen, I think they potentially did him a little dirty there.
Sure.
You can bank some footage of him when he's not doing stuff and show it as if it's live with him on the sideline. But literally at this exact moment, Chris Collinsworth saying, the quarterback's the general of the team. And when the general of the team is waving a white flag, that's not necessarily like a good message to the rest of the building, to the rest of the team. Amen. I think that's what our messaging was at the time. Nobody that had been around football had ever seen it before with Anthony Richardson. But I think he learned his lesson.
I think so.
Yeah, can't do it anymore.
Nope.
Yeah.
How's he going to get better if he doesn't play?
Exactly.
Well, if he was to watch somebody that played great, that would be good. But what happened, you see, was they played the worst they've ever played.
Yeah.
So I would like to put hand up. That one's on me. I was on the wrong side of this entire thing. When do you start thinking about the future of this program? Okay, we need to start thinking the future of this organization.
Yep.
But also in the meantime, like we win some games, we're still in this till the end, which is what every team is feeling except for like 8 of them. Let's go to the toxic table. At Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Con Man, obviously you're one of the teams that have no chance really going to run this year. Nope. But Drake May makes a couple highlights every single week and makes you feel good.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I mean, that's the one thing we always talk about. If you want to win in the NFL, and we're not saying, win like the Colts or win like some of the teams that are going to go to the playoffs. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you need a guy at quarterback. And when you see things like this from Drake May, game on the line, I mean, he's got all day to throw, which is very nice. Love that. He's got the wiggle. Not many guys have wiggle like that. And then he can drop it in a bucket. Anticipation throw with the game on the line. I mean, having a quarterback like this, it gets me going. It keeps me going, rather. And, right now, sure. You can look at this game and say, yeah, Patriots bottom team, 2-7, they're terrible. Look, we lost to the Jags and the Titans. That's our Super Bowl, okay? We lost to the teams that we need to lose to in order to secure the number 1 overall pick. So when it gets down to brass tacks, we ruined the Jets season, okay, as a New England Patriots.
Congratulations.
That's all you're really looking to do. And then you lost to the teams that you're going to, have to compete with to get Travis Hunter. And that's what we're going to do, and we're going to be just fine.
And there's some teams thinking like that. Then there's some teams, Ty Schmidt, are looking at it like Packers fans, get your ass beat by the Lions in the conditions. The first game that the Lions have had outdoors all season. Yep. Obviously, is Jared Goff going to turn into Jared Goof once the other shoe drops and the rain falls? Terrible weather, 100% chance of rain, said Joe DiNardo, Evan Fox, whenever we were talking on Friday. He was not wrong. Jared Goff plays even better somehow in the conditions, and the Lions seemingly more comfortable in the weather than the Green Bay Packers were. There's some numbers right now coming out about this Lions team over the last 5 games that say, hey, better than everybody, different than everybody. No quarterback has thrown multiple touchdowns against Detroit this season. Starting QBs have combined for 6 pass touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and taken 20 sacks over the last 5 weeks. So obviously we talk about the offense and everything that they have going on, but the defense is holding up their end of the bargain as well. The Detroit Lions are dominant. Is it too early? Can you do this for the entirety of the season and then also into the playoffs and in the Super Bowl run? Why not? With the mentality it has, they will eat nails up there. That's a gritty bunch, it feels like, while also being flashy and while also having the capability and the players at every single position. I asked Gerald McCoy on NFL Game Day Morning yesterday on NFL Network, very thankful for those guys having me on their program. I said, is this Detroit Lions team going to be able to continue to hold up without Aiden Hutchinson? And he said, boom! Good Shawn Michaels bump, by the way. I love everything about that. Incarnate Ward started that celebration. Got to have a very strong neck to be able to do that. Yeah. A couple guys have done it, obviously. Amon-Ra St. Brown also wore a shirt that said Green Bay sucks on it as he was walking in the building, which I love. I love everything about that. In the modern age where we're sharing jerseys and pictures and dapping up and everything, it's very rare that you have somebody that says, nah, they suck. We're better than them. This is a rivalry. And then backing it up, going in there and winning. Tells me that maybe the Lions are built for the long haul. As a Packers fan, does that scare you, Ty Schmidt? Do you know that the big bad wolf isn't necessarily a wolf anymore? You know what it is?
What's that?
It's a lion from Detroit, which none of us could have expected about 5-10 years ago, Ty.
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, let's make no bones about it. I think the Lions are the best team in the NFL. They're just... It's very, and especially when they do like the whole, win by the sword, die by the sword type of thing. Like yesterday, they had 2 touchdowns on 4th down, so it's one of those things where Packers stop them there. It's a completely different game, but really, like the Lions played incredibly well. They did. And a lot of people were making a big deal about the weather and hey, this is their first game outside. Are they gonna it didn't affect them at all. Their offensive line is so good, but the Packers. They're such a young team. Like, they are just so undisciplined. They had so many penalties. And then there was a 13-point swing going into half. Packers have the ball. I think it was right after Brian Branch got ejected for what, I personally thought was a very questionable ejection.
I'd say.
Exactly. A lot of people say
one of the best players in the league. He's up for Defensive Player of the Year, and we're going to knock him out in a division rivalry game in the second quarter because of and I think Tom Brady even said it on the air. He's like, I understand that it is a penalty by the book, but we got to take into intention of play here, especially in a game of this magnitude. I think everybody on earth agreed with him as well, including Packers fans.
Well, not all of them. A lot of people saying, oh, you don't know ball, etc. Like, listen, it is a dirty hit for sure, but it's football. I mean, like that's going to happen sometimes. And then for the league to be the one to make that decision, kind of weird. But anyway, he gets ejected. They get a 15-yard penalty, and then he flips off the crowd. They get an additional 15 yards. So, like, the Packers are right there. They miss a field goal on that drive. And the Lions all day were putting together 10, 11 play drives, chewing up a bunch of clock and scoring. So then the Lions kick a field goal. It's 10-3. Packers get the ball back, and kind of one of the things that we've been talking about all year so far with Jordan Love. And you kind of, it's a very fine line, but he makes a bonehead play, throws a pick six going into half, and then the Lions get the ball back. They score. It's 24-3 before you know it. Ended up being closer than the score indicated. It was 24-14, but I don't know. I mean, I think the Packers just have a lot of shit they need to clean up. We know Jordan Love can play good, clean ball without turning the ball over. Like last year, the last 9 games or whatever, he threw, 17 touchdowns and 1 interception or whatever. So it's in there somewhere. I think he tries to do too much, and Brady kept saying that. It's like, hey, listen, you don't need to have an explosive play or a chunk play every single time you throw the ball. You can't do stuff like that and beat yourself, especially against a team like the Lions, who they're not going to make very many mistakes.
Now, with that being said, with the Lions, Montgomery, Gibbs, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, couple tight ends I never heard of making play. I mean, it is just like it's an onslaught on the offensive side. And Jared Goff, he's having this run of completion percentages and more touchdowns than incomplete, everything that he's got going on right now in this run. But he's only thrown it like 15, 16 times.
No, that's the thing, Pat. They just capitalize on everything. If you look at the stats, they got outran, they got out-thrown for, and somehow the Lions just win because they get that 4th down touchdown. They get another 4th down touchdown. I love that MCDC is still aggressive. Everyone wanted him to stop after the NFC Championship, and he said, no, this is MCDC football. We're going to continue to go for it. And you said, can they continue this to the end of the season? I don't care right now if they can continue to the end of the season. This is the Detroit Lions. My entire life, we have been the ones getting pounded on. Finally, we're the ones doing the pounding.
Yeah.
It is awesome. And we're going to keep doing it.
Every once in a while, it's nice to be the hammer instead of the nail.
Hell yeah.
Every once in a while, it's nice to be the one on top instead of the bottom.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while, it's nice to get a dub and go into a Sunday knowing, hey, we're allowed to be confident in our team, especially against the Packers. Now, I know that I think over the last 4 or 5 years, it's been very heavily Lions. I think the Lions have done very well, but I don't know about the entire...
In Green Bay, for sure.
In Green Bay, I don't know the entirety of it, but
talking a little shit after the game, too. Love that.
Bingo. That's what I'm saying. I love where the Lions are and what they can be. Now, the Lions are right there next to the Baltimore Ravens, in my eyes, as the teams who have been phenomenally dominant. And by dominant, we mean their quarterback play has been stupid. And Lamar Jackson, everything that he's done this year is obviously outrageous. He can do things with his feet that no other quarterback can do. He can do things on a football field that nobody in the history of the NFL has been able to do. But what he's doing with his arm now, he's having perfect passer ratings. He's having perfect games. And with the way they've set up that team and that offense, with Derrick Henry somehow being allowed to be signed to the Baltimore Ravens, I put a tweet out yesterday, just like we said in the time when the signing took place. Whenever Derrick Henry signed with the Baltimore Ravens, our first reaction was that should not even be allowed.
Unfair.
The commission should have jumped in there, just like the Chris Paul trade to the Lakers or whatever it was, when the NBA said, nah, we ain't letting that happen, because he is the guy for that offense. You think about him and Patrick Ricard in the backfield. Then you got Lamar Jackson. Then you got Mark Andrews, and likely you got 2 tight ends. So whenever you have a heavy set, we got 22 personnel here. Okay, anything can happen to you. You can get your face run over, or he can hit likely or Andrews down the seam, or Patrick Ricard, the fullback, can catch touchdowns. He has done, on the offensive side, anything they've wanted to do with pretty much anybody. And I don't even think they fully unleashed it, because they just added Deontay Johnson to that offense literally last week with a trade. Zay Flowers is still unguardable. It's like this team has built themselves to do a long run in the playoffs. Lamar Jackson gets judged on a very regular basis about the lack of success in the playoffs. Last year, you could have, guy gets stripped at a half-yard line. Instead, they're in the Super Bowl. How does that end up going? We don't know. But this Baltimore Ravens team, fun to watch. And you talk about the return of the king. We got 9-year NFL vet here, Darius J. Butler. D-Butch, what Derrick Henry's doing is better than he's ever done in his entire career. It felt like it was obvious coming into the season this was going to happen. A lot of people saying he was washed. He's too old. He's not able to be the same old guy. He's not the same old guy. He's somehow better, D-Butch.
Yeah, because we talked about Lamar and how he's playing in the passing game. So coming into the game, you can't just load up the box and say, hey, we're going to stop 22, or hey, we're going to double cover Zay Flowers. Like, they do so much just coming out of the huddle, we got to get lined up. We got big Patrick Ricard where, okay, you take on that block, and then you got to tackle big-ass King Henry, who's still moving, still playing at obviously the top of his game. Like, everything they're doing on offense, they look unstoppable. They're hitting their rhythm. They're hitting their stride. The only question mark with this team is their defense, their pass defense specifically. Can they stop anybody in the air? And obviously that's going to be the case when it comes down to, to nut-cutting time when you get to playoffs. You're going to stop somebody in a 2-minute drive. You're going to do those different things. So maybe they address that before tomorrow at 4 p.m. I know Marshawn Lattimore may be available with the Saints, maybe selling some parts, but everything else with this team is just phenomenal on that offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I think offensive side really fun to watch too.
Great.
They pound a rock, which you would say, that's old school football. It's like, but they get explosive plays up.
Yeah.
And every play you think Lamar Jackson's going to do something special, and it turns out he could. He has so many perfect passer ratings. He's already through the rule book. And then Derrick Henry, 1,000 yards already through 9 games. It's like, remember at the beginning, Harbaugh said, we're not going to be giving Derrick Henry 25 years. That is not what we brought him in here for. Then he started doing it. It's like, we're going to continue to give Derrick Henry. Yeah. That is what we are going to do. I think I heard Coach Harbaugh afterwards say, Derrick Henry is just different, man. Watch him run here. And he compared him, I think, Jamal Lewis back in the day. He said, we haven't had somebody run like this since like Jamal Lewis back in the day. Jamal Lewis didn't have a 280-pound former defensive end as a fullback right in front of him. It's like the pieces they have can beat anybody. And this can travel, too. You think back to the Miami Dolphins having to go up to Kansas City in the playoffs, and it was so cold, and everybody deemed the Dolphins soft afterwards because they couldn't handle the frozen elements. It's like, as long as a cold weather team gets home field advantage in the AFC, that is going to benefit the Baltimore Ravens. Because 4 degrees, 5 degrees, 10 degrees, having to deal with Ricard and Derrick Henry and everything else they got, that's no fun, D-Butch. Nah. That is not what you want to see whenever it's ice-ass cold, 550-plus pounds running downhill, and then, that could just be a play action. They can open this shit up right behind you as well. It is built for the playoffs, it feels.
And I know they had the fumble, that big Zay Flowers fumble in the AFC Championship, but the big takeaway for me coming out of that game is they kind of got away from that run first identity, and now they aren't run first, obviously, with Lamar Jackson. It is a passing league. They obviously address some things on the passing side of the ball, but Kansas City Chiefs most likely will have home field advantage. So you have to go up there, which is obviously cold weather. Buffalo, they're playing great. They'll probably have some home games as well. So everything, like you said, once you get December, January, you start to play those games with those elements. Tackling, the ball gets cold, the ground gets cold. We know how 22 wears on you. And to Harbaugh's point, it's not like how it was with the Titans where you got to give them 35, 36 carries. You can spell them for a few plays here, put Justice Hill out there. They're putting even Henry more so in the passing game, giving him some more screens, getting him out on the perimeter. Todd Monken with this offense, second year in this offense now, man, like Lamar Jackson, he's on his way for his third MVP, playing the best ball of his career.
And wait till they get Deontay Johnson going. Yeah. We haven't really seen the offense as a whole yet because they just made that trade this week, and he was in, I think, for a couple plays during this game against the Broncos. But if you just think about Derrick Henry, Deontay Johnson, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, and Zay Flowers on the field at the same time, and then Lamar Jackson's your quarterback, it's like they can beat you in so many different ways. If I'm any other team in the AFC, and granted, it's Monday. We haven't seen the Chiefs play this week. They might come out tonight and score 50 points with D-Hop and have figured it out and be like, okay, hey, Ravens are great, but the Chiefs are still the Chiefs. And that is still true. But just thinking about where this Ravens team is going to be when the playoffs do come around and Deontay is completely in the offense, it's a scary thought.
You talk about the run game being bolstered or boosted for a team and immediately helping. Philadelphia Eagles.
Man.
And we saw it on Hard Knocks in the offseason with the Giants. Mara, the owner of the Giants, knew. He knew what was going to happen. Not only are we losing our most popular guy, because obviously Philadelphia's relatively to State College and Penn State there, if he goes to Penn State, or if he goes to Philadelphia Eagles, our most popular guy, our jersey sales, also our best player. I won't be able to sleep. This guy leaves. GM Joe Shane, we've all seen it, goes, Chicago's running the price up and Philly's out, from what we heard. And what we've heard from numerous people around the league now is everybody knew Philly was in on Saquon Barkley if Saquon Barkley was available. What a play that was. That is a smart move to get him on that roster. And you have to wonder to yourself, how happy is Jalen Hurts that they got a dynamic running back on that team? How happy is Nick Sirianni that they have a dynamic running back on that squad? And not only is he obviously incredible, he is beloved by the Eagles fans, which is always good for business. We showcased the 180 whoop-de-woo, jump over heads backwards in the middle of a NFL game, in the middle of a professional football game. Taking on people who train their entire life to play football, just dicking around. What? Up over a guy. Let me ollie up over him, okay? And then I'll land on a skateboard on the other side. Just so other people are going to try this, and it's going ass to face.
Yeah.
So many ass to faces.
Painful.
So many.
Best case. That's best case. Yeah.
What you think? Maybe the get up on her knees.
It could just be
The old tater salad.
Right. Could be helmet
I
right
don't
to the
think
knee.
anybody's trying this.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, just the awareness, the athletic ability.
You don't
to get
think
up.
Will Levis sees this and is like, oh,
Good
man,
point.
I'm pulling this out next
Definitely.
week?
Great point.
Will Levis knows he can do it. Now, Saquon has a 41-inch vertical, so I guess it is a little bit different. And nobody was standing up. I assume he was very confused whenever he sees the hip level go up. He goes, where's the strike? So,
Oh, no.
Holy shit, did he just do that? He's on that forever.
Yeah.
He is on that highlight reel forever. There's nothing you can do, bub. Nobody would have expected that. But this Philadelphia Eagles team is the real deal, D-Much.
Real deal. And obviously, Saquon Barkley, they were coming into this year, they were
So stupid.
So stupid. Every time you see it. They were my Super Bowl pick coming out of NFC. Now, NFC is obviously top heavy right now. You got the Lions, the Vikings playing well, the Commies are playing well, which is right in their division.
Niners, wake up.
Niners, once they, if C-Mac can get back healthy, I think. And when C-Mac is healthy, Saquon's healthy, like those two are 1-2 in the league and have been so pretty much their entire time. But Saquon Barkley, I mean, if he comes a couple years ago, Jason Kelce's probably still playing football. Like, Nick Sirianni gets a lot of heat about everything. And look, some of the decision-making that they have, I think still definitely needs to get fixed. Went up 22-0, ended up only winning this game by 5 points, 28-23, I believe. So, like, you can't play with your food like that if you're trying to win, especially as the season goes on. We all know how they started last year, 10-1, and kind of fell off a cliff. When you have Saquon Barkley, you have Jalen Hurts who scores 1 or 2 touchdowns every week, it seems. And then Jalen Hurts is playing better from the pocket now, too. Obviously, you lose A.J. Brown, who I think is the best one-on-one wide receiver right now, you outside of Justin Jefferson. But you throw it up to 11 when he's out there. He's 230, can run by anybody, can break tackles. Devontae Smith is pretty much another number 1 wide receiver. So, I mean, this throwing
Give me that.
unbelievable.
Getting
But
both
when
feet down.
when Jalen Hurts is playing ball like this, Saquon's back there with them, dynamic in the pass game and in the run game. And then on the other side of the ball, Vic Fangio. We were saying a few weeks ago, oh, man, it might be Vic Fangio over.
It's not.
Now some young guys are getting in there, picking up his system, playing some good ball. Jalen Carter's playing well. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, the young guys are coming along. So, I mean, the sky's the limits for this Philly team. If they can continue to get better, they can beat anyone. I think I still feel good about that Super Bowl pick.
Yeah, you got choked up there at the end. Me too.
Yeah,
Talking about this.
it's one of my
Philadelphia-
teams.
Especially in that,
Emotional.
what was it, Kelly Heather? What's the green?
Kelly Green.
Kelly Green. Beautiful jerseys, beautiful tarps. Them doing what they're doing right now, how they're doing it. Good for Coach Sirianni.
Well,
Sirianni.
I don't like that guy still.
What? They're winning games.
He's making
They're up by 22, and he was still getting booed because he goes for it on every 4th down, every 2-point conversion. They just never get him.
Yeah, I heard Greeny really break it down this morning. Go for 2 here. We still don't know why. Tried a 57-yard field goal here. Still don't know why. I mean, there's a lot of decision he makes that I think people are going to get up. But that's Sirianni football, baby.
That's right.
And what Eagles fans are saying, yeah, it is. And that's why we're not going to do it. So maybe, hopefully, Sirianni can hear that. Maybe he can temper some of his wants to be the most aggressive person on earth. Just like MCDC, I think, is probably going to have to at some point in the entirety if you want to go win a Super Bowl. But as long as the Eagles keep winning and moving along, I think you should be excited about the Eagles making the playoffs because they got it all.
Yeah.
They got the team. They got the weapons. They got the explosion. Well, they go. Look, joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who has all the inside information, especially before tomorrow's big day.
Whoa.
NFL trade deadline Tuesday, November 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter. Schefter.
Hello there, guys.
Schefter, your Michigan football team, you guys win a natty, everything like that. The other shoe drops this year. Football gods are waiting for you guys to figure it out. We apologize it hasn't been as fun this year as it has been in the past for your Michigan Wolverines.
No, but again, better times are ahead. I'm sure they'll get it figured out and turned around. Confident in that.
14-point dogs to Indiana. Whoa. Indiana University, the Hoosiers. 14-point favorites against Michigan this weekend. That has never happened. That's Signetti football, baby. That's Signetti football. Congrats to him. Congrats to him.
Got him.
136 years. Never been 9-0.
Oh, Shefty's pissed.
What's that, Shefty? What's that, bub?
No, that's impressive. I didn't realize that we were 14-point dogs. That's amazing. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What's that mean? Okay. What's that mean? You think it's disrespectful?
Okay means okay. Like, wow. I don't know what another way to describe okay, Pat.
I think the reaction is warranted, but remember, national champs.
That's right.
National
Amen.
champs.
That's right.
National champs.
Got your ring.
Always have that. Let's talk a little football this morning. You broke some news. The New Orleans Saints coach Dennis Allen, who has a pretty terrible record, win-loss as the Saints head coach, but loses to the Carolina Panthers, a team that a lot of people thought should be relegated to a lower league in football. They fired a head coach, now special teams coordinator, Coach Riz, who is a pivotal part of the entire new kickoff and everything like that, is interim head coach. You got some tweets coming out from former players, brothers of players. Derek Carr is having to answer questions. It seems to be a full yard sale down there in New Orleans, and it's strictly because the Panthers lost, or how long has this been bubbling down there?
Well, I think it's been bubbling. If you watch that Thursday night game in New Orleans, where Denver went down and won that game, I think there was trouble brewing then. And yesterday afternoon after the game, got the call that this was going to be happening, and you wait to see if and when it actually does. And this morning they made the decision officially to move on. I think that this had been in the works. They obviously have been thinking about it. And Dennis has meant a lot to that organization over time, so it's not a simple thing to do. Never like to see it, but the fact of the matter is that was the direction they were going to go. The team's lost 7 straight games right now, and early on, like through 2 weeks, this was like one of the surprise teams in the league. Scored over 40 points in each of the first 2 weeks. Everybody's hailing the team and looking at the Saints, and then it unraveled pretty quickly. So they felt like they had to make a change here.
Okay, so what's next for them? We know their cap situation is always going to be pretty ridiculous. I don't know all the contracts for everybody. Derek Carr, quarterback now. What does the future look like for the Saints? Are we staring down full rebuild? Because they've kind of kicked the can down the road, right, for a long time. They just signed Kamara, I guess, 2 weeks ago to an extension to open up some cap space for next year. But what does it look like for the Saints? And are they going to be very active getting rid of folks before tomorrow? How do you see this going?
Well, I don't think they're going to be very active. I think they're still sifting through it right now, and obviously they have a game this week against Atlanta. I think they're trying to move on with the coaching search. It's not like it's going to be a fire sale here in New Orleans. They have gotten some calls about Marshawn Lattimore, their young, impressive cornerback. We'll see whether they decide to move on from him. I don't think they've made any decision there, and I think maybe it would depend on the offer. But this is a team that obviously has always mortgaged into the future, and they've always been so creative and so smart about doing it. But at some point, you got to pay the bill. And look, when you get a coaching change like this, inevitably there's going to be more change. So we'll see all the change that decides to come to New Orleans. This is the start of, I think, probably a lot of changes. So they got a lot of things in store for that franchise here moving forward.
Obviously, we hope Chris Olave recovers quickly. There's been a couple for him now. You know, that is scary. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's a few this year. There was one at Ohio State. I mean, he's had a history of this, and it's very troubling to watch that. Yesterday, him being carted off, serious deal, and you hope he's going to be okay.
T's and P's, Chris. Do whatever is best for you, brother. Legitimately in that entire thing. And for the Saints, I can't wait to see what they look like next year. I'm sure there's a lot of teams snooping around going, excuse me. We're rebuilding this thing? What are we doing? Tomorrow, you think we're going to be very active before 4 p.m. tomorrow for NFL trade deadline Tuesday, November 5th? The world's talking about it.
Well, I'll say this. There's been an uptick in activity in recent years, and I always expect there to be more activity. I'd be surprised if we got a lot of big names, considering we've already had Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Deontay Johnson. Like, I think most of the big names that have been out there have already been traded. Now, could we still get, and are we likely to still get, Zadarius Smith and Azeez Ojulari and a wide receiver, whether that's Darius Slayton or Mike Williams or Adam Thielen? So there's going to be stuff. There's always stuff. And there are teams that believe that they can enhance their rosters, but I'm not expecting Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or some crazy dramatic trade, although that's what's always interesting about all this. Like, what if one of these curveballs comes? I was on the phone with somebody this morning. They're asking me, like, who's getting traded? I'm like, we go over a few names and just the names that I gave you here. And I said, but I always am curious, worried, nervous about that one curveball you don't see coming. And they said that's what keeps them up. Like, also, okay, as they're formulating their team, they want to know if there's a curveball out there that they should be checking into as well.
Oh, got it. You were talking to a general manager.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. I didn't know, because you said you were talking to somebody earlier, and then you gave them those names. I was like, maybe it's a producer for Monday Night Football Countdown, something like that. And then whenever the response from that person is, we got to look out for that curveball too. It's like, yeah, let's find the seams here. You mentioned a few names there that I think interest a lot of people on this particular set. Pittsburgh Steelers, Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, you could have kept the Christian Kirk news to yourself. Okay, Steelers fans didn't need to know that. Okay? We didn't.
Don't you always like information? Like, you get mad when we don't share all the information there, Tone, right?
Yeah,
But at the time,
until we don't get the guy because he got hurt. But now the names out there are Slayton, Adam Thielen, the ones you talked about, and for some reason Steelers fans think we're getting DK Metcalf for some. I don't know why, but
that's an example of a curveball that I'm not expecting. Like, DK Metcalf. Like, I didn't hear that name, but. I mean, that's the kind of thing on trade deadline day that you're always curious. Like, could there be something like that? Now, again, I've heard nothing about DK. That's the first time I've heard that.
That baby Tone. That baby Tone. He's got an AP vote.
It's number one on the Steelers Twitter wish list.
Okay, good. That's where it came from.
Yes.
All right.
DK Pickens?
How likely, though? Steelers going to be active, we think. They've been in it since the beginning. Obviously, Christian Kirk going there, and then allegedly Ayuk was going to potentially sign a deal. They had a big offer, so they've been very active. Is it the other teams potentially not wanting to trade him? The player? How does this? What do you think is going to hold up some of this stuff here if it does happen? Because Adam Thielen potentially going to be a Steeler because he didn't dress, but he did practice, or are they just gearing up for him to be traded? And then allegedly Zadarius Smith, the trade was already in talks for him to end up as a Detroit Lion. It's like, how do these come together? And when they're reported as like they have a deal, is that like what, like how do we know what's real and what isn't over the next 24 hours?
Well, I think every situation is different. Like Devontae Adams, Pat, your big story that day. That trade was agreed to on Saturday. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, Saturday. That trade was agreed to Saturday.
Did you know that?
Well, I found out about it after that it was agreed to Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was agreed to Saturday, not Saturday, or Sunday. Found out later it was agreed to Saturday. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, again, we'll use Zadarius Smith. You brought that up. Do I think the Lions and Browns have had significant talks? Yeah. Do I think they have agreed on comments? No. I think they're still arguing about that. Could there be another team that steps in and offer? Yes. Do I think ultimately the Browns and Lions will figure out a way to get it done? I do, but things change. You never know. But I think that there have been enough conversations. And you could go on with almost every player. Teams are checking in on all these guys. Hey, any interest in this? No, yes. Or teams aren't calling back. There are always teams checking in just to kind of get a feel because they don't want to miss a way to try to upgrade their roster, whether they're acquiring a player or draft pick compensation. We could look at the teams right now with 2 wins and say, would any of those teams be in the market to move on and trade some players to get draft pick compensation? The winning teams want to upgrade. So that's sort of where we're at with teams continuing to check in with one another.
8 teams at 2-7 right now.
Yikes.
Lot of crop. You look at that NFC West. Cardinals are leading the division. Congrats to the Cardinals.
How about it?
Congrats to the Cardinals. They beat the Bears.
How about this? The Seattle Seahawks, since the season kicked off, for 8 weeks, were in first place every single day. And they lose yesterday and are now in last place.
Yeah, the NFC West parity has been insane. The Niners having a bye week yesterday. So I think I saw Kittle up in Wyoming. I think he's getting recharged for a big second half alongside Brock Purdy. That NFC West is going to be a battle to the end. And don't look now, Rams. A couple weeks ago, they were going to be trading away their weapons. Now it's like, hold the phone.
Find something.
Are the Rams? Are we in this thing? Go ahead.
And Christian McCaffrey probably comes back this week, too.
Now, D-Butch has a question for you, Chef.
That was my question. Obviously, every week we've been asking about Christian McCaffrey. What have you heard now on that Christian McCaffrey news?
Well, I would say it's what I haven't heard. I haven't heard a single setback. I haven't heard that there's been any issues. I haven't heard that there's any complications. So as long as there's no red flags and that continues on, then I would think that he's going to play on Sunday against the Buccaneers.
Okay.
As long as there's
Here we go.
There's no setbacks.
CMC's back.
Congrats.
Well, again, as long as there are no set. For all I know, he was running yesterday and felt something. Like, I haven't heard any of that so far. That's my point.
Okay. Well, remember, you were the one that told us 4 days before opening day that his Achilles was involved in any of this conversation.
Yeah, whoa.
So I feel like we were kind of bamboozled, blindsided by the loss of CMC for this first half of the season because we all love watching him play, especially in that offense, especially with how they've been playing. Mason comes in, goes crazy. Guerrero comes in, goes crazy. It's like CMC on the field is something that football fans love. I'm taking you for your word. He's back this week.
Okay. Go, Jeff.
Hey, we all want that. We'd love to see that. And it would be great. Again, I haven't heard anything to make me think that he won't be back, but there's still 6 days till Sunday.
Okay, that's CMC news. Let's go to CMM news. Coach Mike McCarthy. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, things are not going well in Dallas. And obviously everyone's talking now, last year of his contract. Mike McCarthy and this entire staff, maybe they're just lame ducks, all going to get shot in the head like that squirrel at the end of the season.
Oh, my gosh. We don't know if that's how that went down. Rest in peace, Peanut.
Rest in peace, Peanut.
That was unbelievable.
2 in the chest, 1 in the head.
We all miss you, Peanut. What's the deal over there?
That was a damn good squirrel, wasn't it?
It's a damn shame.
Yeah, part of the family.
You know, they say blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah.
Peanut wasn't blind, found a nut all the time.
Yeah.
Dead.
Putting them in the Arlington Cemetery.
They should.
Okay.
Allegedly.
We don't know. We don't know if that's true or not. Schefter might know. We do not.
Don't forget about Fred.
Who's Fred?
His raccoon
His
friend.
raccoon friend.
What happened to Fred?
2 in the chest, 1 in the head.
Dead?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fred's dead.
Fred's dead?
Come on. They took the whole team out.
Okay, rest in peace to Fred and Peanut. Legitimately.
This world coming too.
What is this world? NFL trade deadline day
shame.
tomorrow. Go ahead, Connor.
But Mike McCarthy, are they going to do that to the entire staff over there? And then what's going on in Chicago too, Schefter? Just checking in on the Eberflus situation as well.
Well, what's interesting is, first of all, Mike McCarthy's in the last year of the contract. So, I don't know what you're doing. For all the people that want Mike McCarthy fired, you could see his frustration. You could see how upset he is with everything. We saw Dak's lips yesterday, commenting about how bad the team has been in recent weeks. I don't think they're doing anything in the heart of the season, and it doesn't make any sense to do it what do you want him to do? You want him to fire Mike McCarthy now and anoint who? There's not an obvious candidate. His contract's up after the season. Now, what's going to be interesting to me here is with so many good coaches on the sideline, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, some experienced guys, are there going to be teams that speed up the clock around Thanksgiving to get a jump on talking to some of these guys? Being like, you can't talk to Mike Vrabel, he's in Cleveland, but you could go talk to Bill today if you wanted. You could talk to Pete Carroll today if you wanted. And so you could talk to college coaches who have been wanting to leave to get to the NFL, generally speaking. So there might be teams, you wonder if some of that is at play in New Orleans. Obviously, the fan base there was disgruntled. And I think with any team making any type of coaching decision, I think that plays into it this year. Now, I don't know how many we're going to get this year. If you remember last year, we talked about that. I gave you the number. I said, what I say, 8 or whatever, at least 8, and it was 9. I don't know that we're there yet on a number, but I do think that it could speed up things. And we've already seen two teams fire head coaches, and it's November 4th. That's a little more aggressive than usual, but we may see some of that with some of the coaching talent that's on the sidelines right now.
Jets and Saints, obviously, is who he's referring to, have both fired their head coach already 9 weeks into the season. A lot of football left. You talked about Big Mike McCarthy, but he also mentioned their coach Eberflus. I guess it's getting loud up there.
Yeah.
It's getting loud up there in Chicago. I don't know what expectations were coming in with a rookie quarterback. Obviously, we got a good team. We built this up. We didn't earn the number 1 overall pick. We traded for it last year with the Carolina Panthers. Panthers. We're looking to have success. The way it's going, though, it feels like Bears fans are loud about, is this the right guy for Caleb Williams and everything that's happening up there? Are you hearing that, or is he safe? Great haircut, good beard.
Always.
Good beard. Would have beat Washington if it wasn't for, Hail Mary. And then it hails yesterday in Arizona.
Listen, they're not.
A lot of hail.
They're not winning consistently enough for these questions not to come up. They are now 0-18 in Sunday road afternoon games during Matt's 0-18.
Are they staying in terrible hotels, or what's going on? Bad.
Well, the good part is they don't play again on the road on a Sunday until the first week in December.
That is good.
So they got a stretch of home games, and they got Thanksgiving Day against Detroit, right?
Ooh.
So they're not going to lose any more Sunday afternoon games on the road for another month. But anytime you're not winning consistently, anytime you're allowing a Hail Mary to happen, anytime you're making some of those mistakes, there's going to be talk about the coaches. I was curious to see, try never to read comments, but some of the comments around Dennis Allen and people like wondering, okay, when is it happening in Chicago too? A lot of that stuff, a lot of commentary.
Oh yeah,
about that.
They got real loud in Chicago. That 0-18 stat is obviously an alarming one. And you heard Ty go, ugh, for the Thanksgiving game, because the whole world's watching that one.
Bingo.
So you're playing against this Lions team that is a buzzsaw by literally every statistic. Yep. They are dominating teams. So now you're doing it on Thanksgiving Day with the whole world watching. It's like, that's when it gets very, so loud. But you beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day. All of a sudden, maybe Eberflus is the guy.
Yeah.
Because remember the end of last year, Eberflus's culture starting to settle in. Here we go. We're about to get the number 1 overall pick. We're going to roll. It's such if you lose, they should have beat the Commanders.
Yes, for sure.
They should have beat the Commanders. Are we even having this discussion if they get that win? No. But obviously, Tyreek Stevenson celebrating with the fans. Bats it to Cuz, takes himself out of practice. It's like now the culture's getting questioned, coaching's getting questioned. DJ Moore comes out on an interview and doesn't say an answer perfectly. So they're like, this guy, he's lost the locker. It's it's amazing how quick everything can and you just need a win.
Hey, allow that long run before the end of the half yesterday. DeMarcado, the Cardinals running back, that was the longest run
just to give up
before halftime in NFL history or some crazy stat like that. Here's the run with that much time left. So in one week you give up a Hail Mary, the next week you give up that run as the half is running out. On 3rd and 5, a little handoff to DeMarcado takes it to the house.
Yeah.
That was a give up play.
No, those are not good plays.
Especially with a defensive minded head coach. You got a young, dynamic quarterback. Those conversations get a lot louder, a lot quicker if you're not, this offensive savant.
Especially if Ben Johnson's there.
Yeah.
Slow it down if Houston's available.
Apparently Ben Johnson was interested in the Bears. I don't know where that was reported from.
I saw it too. I don't know if it was real though.
No, it was definitely
just came out of my mouth.
Yeah. It was definitely reported.
Albert Breer reported it. Okay, good. I didn't know if it was a McCockner situation.
No, I knew it was.
That was what your face was saying after that got out of your mouth. I don't know who reported that, if that's real or not. But all those offensive gurus out there with the defensive failures, with the defensive head coach, and then also how it's all, it all starts coming quick. It all starts going real fast, especially if there's hope for the future, which I think Caleb has brought.
Well, on the other side of that, too, people thought Gannon was going to be on the block, and now they're top of the division 5-4 and winning huge games.
You know why? This is Coach Gannon after the game talking about his locker room and the players on it. It is a message that every coach wishes he could say.
Is that's what's allowing us to win games is we take one day at a time, every second counts, maximize the day, keep blinders on, and go about your business. Display winning behavior on a consistent day-to-day basis, and you'll give yourself a chance to win the game. So I think probably why that's happening is the leadership in the locker room, from the captains to, we got a bunch of leaders on that team, you know what I mean? And they don't allow no bullshit. So, not that we have a lot, but every once in a while I'll get out of alignment too. You know what I mean? You got to bring back everybody in, And they're doing a really good job of staying connected and being accountable and doing the right things.
Congrats to the Cardinals having their culture. And Coach Gannon, you can hear, sounds like Coach Sirianni. The Eagles are good. Cardinals are good. Shane Steichen, really the offense coordinator along those two whenever they were with the Eagles. Colts in quite a quite a pickle right
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Can you, what are your thoughts on what happens with the Colts and what are you hearing around the Indianapolis Colts? I thought that we had a team that could win a Super Bowl.
Sure.
I did. Okay, Schefty. I heard a lot of you ESPN NFL people. I heard a lot of Fox NFL. I heard a lot of NFL Network NFL. I heard a lot of CBS NFL people saying, this team, are they going to win a Super Bowl? Is that reality of the situation? Why are we making this move? Not thinking about the future. We're in it in the AFC South. We were in it. We still are in it. But then we put up that performance against the Vikings. It makes me reconsider everything. What are you hearing about the Indianapolis Colts, and what are your thoughts on it all around the league?
Well, those are some damning numbers.
Okay,
right?
Schefter, get to what you're hearing.
No.
Okay? Schefter.
Well, what you're hearing is people have been talking about the quarterback situation, obviously, because that's where the focus was last week. And you saw last night, I think the defense obviously played better, getting DeForest Buckner back. These guys on the defense side, there's talent there. There's talent there for this team to play better and to win. But it still comes back to the quarterback. And the discussion we had yesterday on Sunday Countdown and the discussion that people around the league have been having is it the right move to bench Anthony Richardson to basically count on Joe Flacco to get you to the playoffs at the expense of developing and growing your
could
quarterback?
be developing off the field. I don't like that is not even, because that's seemingly a part of the, never mind. I'm sorry.
He learned a lot last night.
Yeah, he did. He learned a lot last week. He's learned a lot.
Hell yeah.
Can't be doing
Continue. Yeah.
He learned.
He knows,
Again,
he knows now.
Can't be doing it.
It wasn't about his play. It was about the.
Exactly.
Well, it was about his play, too.
Yeah,
No,
play
no,
wasn't
not on
great,
this
but
show.
it turns
Not
out
on
the
this show.
offense on our show is all about the tap out. That's what I was talking about. The play is going to be what it's going to be, but boy, when the offense looks like that, it's like if we're not going to have any if we're not going to have any production from the offense anyways, it's like, did he learn his lesson about the tap out? I think
He did. He did. Get his ass back in
I
there.
think he did. What do you think, Schefter? What does the future look like? Because last week, didn't Shane say Flacco's our quarterback for the future or whatever, right?
Schefter told us, too, that
Yeah.
it's pretty much over for Anthony Richardson once he was benched. No quarterback has ever come back.
No, he did not say that.
I heard Schefter. I read the tweet.
Only
I read
one. It was Chase.
No. Here's what the tweet said. Well, let's be very clear. If we go and again, our ace researcher, I brought him up on the show, Evan Kaplan, did the research. We had the idea. We're talking about it.
Oh, yeah, Cap.
I said, go back and count up the number of first-round quarterbacks who have been benched in their rookie contract that have come back to get their team to the playoffs or to go to the Pro Bowl. And there were 66 quarterbacks drafted in the first round this century.
Jesus.
25 have been benched. 25. The only one who came back from that to get to the Pro Bowl or playoffs was Mitch Trubisky, who then obviously went on to Chicago. Now, there have been quarterbacks who have gone on to succeed elsewhere. Baker Mayfield has done very well.
Amen.
Sam Darnold has done very well.
Amen.
We've seen quarterbacks go on to succeed elsewhere. All we're saying is that based on history,
Yeah.
the chances are is that Anthony Richardson's now trying to overcome what most other quarterbacks have been unable to do. That's all. Sorry, Pat.
He's going to be A-okay, Shefty. He's going to be A-okay.
Okay, great. Great. We'd love to see it.
Right here in Indy, yeah.
A-R-okay.
Everybody needs a new scenery. He is getting a different scenery, isn't he?
That's right.
A lot of chance to sit down, see it from a different perspective. Now he gets a chance to stand back up, go ahead back out there potentially. You know, maybe Flack with another week, right? Is able to Bills, Jets, Lions. Okay, that's
And then the Patriots.
That's what's coming down the pipe over the next 3 weeks. And B-Flow defense obviously did what he did last night to Colts offense. Maybe we're all just overreacting a little bit, okay? Maybe we just need to move forward. Let's talk about moving forward. Let's talk about tonight. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefty, obviously the Bucs are incredibly banged up, and then Chiefs kind of same deal, with the exception of obviously them getting DeAndre Hopkins kind of going more. What are the inactives looking like tonight? Who's going for both teams?
I think the Buccaneers are still holding out hope that Jalen Millen, who was added to the injury report, the hamstring, that he'll be able to go. Obviously, the Chiefs have been banged up all year long. No Hollywood, no Pacheco, no Rashee Rice. Who else is in question for Kansas City tonight? I think everybody else is okay right now. Right? Are we missing anybody in Kansas City?
Well, you froze up. We're asking you, bub. Okay, Shefty. You're the
You guys
insider.
there?
Info.
Yeah, we're here. Can you hear us?
What happened here?
Oh, no.
Hey, he can still hear you. He can still hear you.
Yeah. What the?
Yeah.
Imagine I lost the mother. Imagine if Schefter did have one of those full meltdown moments. It'd be amazing.
Chiefs should have New England Patriots pass rusher Josh Uche kind of making his debut for them because they traded for him.
Oh, yeah, last week. So he had enough time to get dropped in there.
Sure.
Maybe rush passer a little bit. Baker Mayfield without Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Obviously, everybody wondering how the offense is going to look. Baker Mayfield's been playing better ball than anybody could have ever expected.
Possibly losing McMillan too.
Yep.
Like who
Top 3
last week he had some opportunities to be open. They just kind of missed and weren't on the same page. But Baker got to take care of the football. You know, he makes good plays. He obviously has young receivers, got talented backs. But when he doesn't take those checkdowns or throwaways and just throws it into harm's way, bad recipe for the Bucs.
And I would like to know whether or not Taylor Swift's going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we have chatted about this, the Taylor Swift effect being real for the NFL, and obviously it is. I had no idea. I went into that show last night. You know, obviously, my wife got a suite for her and her friends and a bunch of Swifties on Saturday night show and Sunday show. These are the last United States of America shows for the Eras Tour that has obviously traveled the entire globe. So last night I go with my wife and a few of her friends, and we go in there. Boy, I did not know that you could have an audience that engaged for 3.5 hours.
Unbelievable.
I had no idea that fans could be that committed to something. And the reason why they are is because Taylor Swift is a fucking monster.
Mm-hmm.
She cut promos in the middle of this thing, told stories, no flubs. No flub. We're talking jokes. We're talking punchlines. We're talking the history of things. No flubs. We're just promo, song, new era, new dance, new show. The light show that they had around the entire stadium with everybody had these wristbands that had lights on it. Massive piece of it. And there was a couple times where Taylor Swift was like, you know what? If you're new here, I would just like you to know what me and my crowd do during these shows. She just pointed around, okay? And literally, whole place just stands up, does the wave, and then as soon as she stops, everybody just stops. Wow. They all know the exact move. And then hands like this, it's like literally the stadium is shaking because the entire place is doing that. You're talking about songs from like the last 15 years of her life. Every word, every song, whole night. Every 69,000 person that was in that stadium. It was an experience. Now, I kept up with the Colts game on my phone because obviously Colts are playing the Minnesota Vikings, Sunday Night Football primetime. Sure. Just did a quarterback change. We're in the middle of a lot of stuff like that. But it was hard to keep up legitimately because you get captivated with everything that's going on in this show. Yeah. It was the coolest, most electric environment I have ever been in my entire. So loud. Mm-hmm. So loud. There was a 3.5 minute standing ovation. 3.5 minute standing ovation. And I'll tell you what, we're right in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
We're right in the middle of the whole damn thing.
69,000.
All in. Mm-hmm. All every word, every song, the entire time. They said there was a minute until the show popped up on the screen. Place one ape shit. We're standing back in there. We got a minute. There's a countdown until Taylor comes out. And it gets to 1 minute or whatever, and I'm in the back of the suite, and I just hear this whole thing. I'm like, oh, show must be starting. I go out there. Nope, we just got 55 seconds until she comes out. It's like, okay. So then you go back to when it actually starts. Roof blown. I mean, it is, if you haven't been, you need to go. It is an experience. It is a ride. And Taylor Swift is a monster. Yeah. She is a beast. What an entertainer. We're talking acoustic, jamming, singing, storytelling. I mean, just the whole, it was awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
We've been to a lot of events over the years. That was one of the greatest spectacles I've ever seen in my life in person.
Spectacle is the right way to describe that, just being a part of it.
It was amazing.
I was told by the Swifties, though, that because I was keeping up with the football game, I got hit with some Tay voodoo and the Colts lost.
Oh, no.
Because I wasn't all in. I was all in. I didn't know all the words like everybody else.
Makes sense.
Tay voodoo.
Checks out.
It was awesome. Couldn't sing the praises enough. I'd go if I were you, and you should. We're back on the other side. Joining us is a demon. Ladies and gentlemen, O's the Mentalist will be joining us.
All right, O's. Let's go. What's the pick? I'm not giving away for free. Bill, what time is it right now?
7:57.
Write it as big as you can.
Wow.
Okay.
It's about to get weird. From this point on, I never touch this bad boy. We're going to revisit later in the draft.
All right, O's, get in here, you sick son of a
weird.
Almost 2 hours.
Hold it. Oh, don't drop it.
Oh, no. I dropped it.
Okay, AJ, take the cards, look through them, and here's the thing. I want this to be random. Yeah, you can.
Okay, yeah, what's up? My hands are a bit frozen, but yeah.
I want you to take, but hold on. I don't want you to look for your favorite.
Bill's booking Sean Payton right now.
There we go. Head boy Bill.
AJ, slow. Lift. No.
One of your guys.
Take off a piece.
Oh,
it could
you
be a
fucked
lot
my
or a little.
shirt. Oh, right here.
And don't look at it. Lift it up.
I'm not.
Put it against your body. That feel right?
Yeah, feels
AJ,
great.
if you don't feel like this was the right moment for you and you want to change, put it back.
All right, I'm putting it back.
It's up to you. All right, lift off wherever you want.
We're back.
More or less. A piece.
No, that's not okay. Now I'm
you
good.
want.
3
Is that
times.
good?
Good.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course.
Stay right there, locked and loaded.
Oh, you fucked up my shirt,
That's
bro.
not, and there is a white piece of paper.
Yep.
Is that right? That's all that's in there. Take that out. I want you to see this. Look, AJ, open it up.
No fucking way.
No
and
way.
show us and show AJ what you got. What is that? Show us. 9 turn around and show us where you're at.
You ready?
Yep, turn it around.
No way. Shut up! This guy!
757, that thing.
What?
That's been in there since 757. Imagine that you somehow know the game of the year next season. Tell us, what are the two teams that you're seeing in this game? Wow. Say it.
Packers and 49ers.
Who do you think's going to win that game?
Packers 34, Niners 27.
Tell me on your life. Did I tell you to say anything? Did I
you
say
did it, and I swear to God, if you get this right, I'm gonna rip your fucking head off.
Tell him the game of the year.
Oh my
Read
God.
Read it to him, please.
Come on, bro.
Read it to him. Packers beat the 49ers 34-27. Remember this screen grab when it happens this season. Open up what's been in there since 757.
Come on, dude. There's something wrong with you.
Open it up. It says Brock Bowers, 13th pick Raiders.
Fuck this guy.
How?
Fucking way! There's no way!
This guy's a witch. Bears, Caleb Williams.
100% we knew it.
Commanders, Jaden Daniels.
No, don't you dare.
Patriots, Drake May. Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. Chargers, Joe Walt. Giants, Malik Neighbors. Titans, J.C. Latham. Michael Penix Jr. Roma Dunze. Vikings from
Traded
Jets.
with the Jets.
What? J.J. McCarthy, Jets from Vikings. Olu Fashanu, Broncos, Bo Nixon in the 13th pick.
Oh my God!
Bowers to the Raiders.
I'm so happy I'm not.
Beautiful.
Taped on his chest since 757. Right now it is 9.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive Overreaction Monday, November 4th, 2024. Hour 2 of the program starts now. Football is wonderful. We're so incredibly thankful we get to talk about it every single day. Thank you for watching. You're the greatest humans on earth for allowing us to do this for a living. It's not just me. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Call man, sweet hoodie.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I had to get one. I forget which era this is exactly from, but I mean, what a show.
Is there Reputation there? Or?
Since I wore all black, a lot of people were saying that the era that I was representing was the Reputation era, but you know, I'm
Are you ready for it? Bam, bam. I'll tell you, she had these light beams from the stage up to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Most powerful lights I've ever seen in a production. The show is just absolutely banana. From the beginning to the end, you kind of get lost in the entirety of it all. It's hard not to get like hypnotized.
Like mesmerized, yeah.
It is phenomenal.
And going the entire time, and not to mention the WrestleMania pyro.
Yes. Full on, I don't know, probably 53 1/3 wide, as wide as a football field, just raining down flames with this massive LED board behind it, telling a story. She goes up on this little rising stage.
Yeah, like hitting the spots of where she needed to be while dancing.
At the exact time, with holes right behind. So giant fucking holes right behind her, and we could see her from where the hole from where we're sitting, just walking so confident. So obviously she's done the show a lot of times, but still, you're in front of 69,000 people. Didn't hear a single flub on any song.
Nope.
Didn't hear. Heard some inflection too for like. She's on mic, you know, and I think,
for sure.
I think there was
Mike
even
was on. For sure.
Mike was definitely on, and I think there's even a couple times where she like fucks up a little bit to like just a nice little reminder. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is what you're watching here, and the promos, brother. I mean, the promos
right
were,
off the bat.
The promos were, I mean, you're talking about full on.
The boom.
Got me
dude,
feeling.
It was a hell of a show. I didn't know all the songs.
Sure.
You know. But boy, felt like every single one of them was like this, and it meant a lot to everybody that was in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it meant a lot to everybody that was in there.
That little girl who was on like the front of the stage, gave her like her hat and everything. I made that girl's life.
Got a chance to meet a girl, a 7-8-year-old girl that was in the suite next to us. Her name was Lola. Obviously, get a chance to chat with her, take a picture with her. Her dad, a lot of dads knew who we were, and then watching the dad and daughter bond that was at this thing in a lot of these places. Awesome, like so cool. But then this girl, Lola, every song, she played a couple surprise songs. She doesn't play the same songs ever in this Eras tour, and obviously she's at the end of it. So she's playing songs from her entire Rolodex of music. And this little girl, Lola, as soon as she heard this one song she didn't expect, standing, jumping, singing. Her dad right behind her, like glistening, like watch. It was just like, my wife was losing her shit for a couple different, it was just like a cool, maybe the most positive community of people that I've ever been around.
And it's nonstop. If you have to go to the bathroom, you can't because every single song is a banger.
Yeah, I did. So during the standing ovation, I didn't know what was happening. I had to go to the bathroom.
That was the time.
But did not want to walk out of standing ovation. So clapping. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom after this one here. This one feels like the one I'm going to go to the bathroom. Clapping, and everybody's like, holy shit, yeah, because I guess that song, Champagne Problems, I don't know. It must connect for a lot of people. Whole place stands up, and I'm like, I got to piss, but I'm not leaving it. This is the longest standing ovation I've ever been a part of.
And it kept getting louder.
Louder and longer the entire time. It was like you were a part of something. And then there's a bunch of those moments. It's like, hell of a show. Her team, incredibly hospitable, very, very kind. And yeah, man, Travis was in town on Saturday.
Guitar player. She's got a guitar player that goes.
Yeah.
His
hair's really cool.
Both of them, unbelievable.
It's got good moxie too whenever he's doing his entire
shredding.
So he's allegedly been with her since like 2006. So that guy's been there for the long haul.
I think the people that I met have been there obviously since the beginning of the Eras tour, which is beginning of 2023 or something like that after Super Bowl. It's like they get it. Everybody just gets it too. That is a well-run operation.
It's a machine.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tay.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Thanks for coming to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
$100 million brought into the city because of Taylor Swift. 2 Super Bowls, they said, is what the planning was like. Inevitably, there's like 4 restaurants we know that said biggest weekend we've ever had in our entire life.
Yep.
Biggest weekend we've ever had. So thank you to Taylor and the Eras Tour for coming through Indianapolis. And I enjoy watching people do their thing. Like, I think that's why I love professional wrestling so much, because you're exposed out there. So I like watching people do their thing. You know, I like going to Broadway. I like watching plays. Even if it's something that is probably not going to be in my bag, I want to watch the humans handle the pressure of performance. So I love watching shit. That exceeded all expectation. I don't know how you follow that. Like, that show that she put together, because it's just her for a majority of it on this massive stage. Yep. Then she's got these backup dancers that come out. She's got these props that come out. It's like the amount of money and attention to detail to make the show awesome is just like very evident. They got to figure it out over there.
That's it. Every single detail is thought of.
So then she's got 6 shows in Toronto coming up. 6.
Damn.
Sold out the same stadium 6 times. In one city. It's like here, she sold it out 3 times. And on Friday, her show Friday, it set a record for the largest attendance in Lucas Oil Stadium concert history. Saturday, obviously, we broke the largest attendance in Lucas Oil Stadium concert history. And then last night, guess what we did?
Broke it again.
Set a new record.
Hang the banner.
So literally every single night, more people were going into that, and we should think about hanging a banner.
Well,
I think we should think.
Was it part of the thing like, hey, I'll come play in Indianapolis if you guys take down the AFC Finals banner?
All right.
And that's why she ended up coming?
Okay. One half of the hammer. Cowboys, AP Tone. I can't wait for you and your daughter to go to a Taylor Swift show someday. Legitimately, I cannot wait for it.
We'll go to a concert for sure.
Buddy, you have no...
Dude,
you have
it
no...
actually is so impressive.
I get it.
Okay, I understand that there are some people that feel that way. I think you watch a documentary about it, and obviously anytime you interject yourself into politics, there's going to be people that immediately... I don't think last night was necessarily an evening where everybody in there was viewing politics the same way. This is Indiana, okay? This is Indianapolis, Indiana. What happened in there, though, was something that everybody that went in there is going to talk about for the rest of their life. It was a fucking real deal. She's the real deal.
Yeah.
I don't understand. She just went, too, never stopped. Just kept going.
Performer.
Straight up. I want to call her showman, but I don't know, because she is like a...
You can say that. I think that
show woman.
I don't think that discriminates sexes.
Well, I don't want to.
Someone would get pissed about it.
Well, those things happen a lot where something happens and somebody's pissed off. I don't even know. Somebody could be pissed about that. Boy, I'm learning every single day. A color, okay, an animal, food that everybody on earth eats. Okay, everything offends somebody. So I'm learning that as we go forward. But she is just like consummate showman would be the way. Yeah. Every moment there is a show happening. It's
world class.
Yeah, no shit, she's a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No shit, she's a billionaire. Anyways, one half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys, AP Tone. You know, Taylor Swift's a billionaire because what she does in these stadiums, I think, is it's uncompetable. I think after watching last night, and then. Can I become a billionaire from gambling? And is the way to do that just betting on favorites? Is that not what's happening this NFL season?
This weekend it was for sure. They were 10-4 against the spread. And it was a good weekend for the public because even the favorites that didn't cover, they won the game. Like the Bills didn't cover, but they won the game. The Eagles didn't cover, but they won the game. So if they were like in your money line parlays and stuff like that, you still won those. If you teased them, you still won those. So it was a good weekend for the public because the public loves the favorites and they won the game. Like if we had a situation where, you know, the Bills or Eagles would have lost, like if the Eagles would have blown that, then the money line parlays would have been screwed. But yeah, it was a good weekend.
9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here. We're winning bets. We're watching good games. Football is good. Do you feel that way, or do you think the fact that we have 8-2-7 teams is indicative of crap football? I think we've been having good games.
Good football.
1 o'clock slate, some of them.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah, some duds, but even like the Patriots, Titans, terrible teams, but the game was good.
Yeah, ended up getting good too. Yeah, and it had a little extra sauce.
We've been giving the refs some credit this season too. I think the refs had probably one of their worst days yesterday. Interjected themselves a little bit too much in the games. Obviously, you're impacting outcomes, but overall, I think we're still getting good football. Obviously, you're gonna have some crap teams. I think 8, 9, whatever, 2-win teams at this point in the season. That's tough. 2 fired coaches already. Not even fully through week 9. That's tough, obviously. So, but I think we're still getting good football.
Yeah, and anytime you're having 61-yard field goals to win games, life is good.
Incredible.
I don't know if you saw this. Big Ball Bass misses an extra point. A lot of people saying, get this guy out of here. We don't want Big Ball Bass on our team anymore. Yeah. There were some Buffalo Bills fans, not all of them. Obviously, Bills Mafia is a large group and a great group. They were wondering if Tyler Big Ball Bass was still going to be the same guy. They were on him a little bit. If you're a kicker, what have you done for me lately? Well, most recently, Tyler Big Ball Bass hits from 61 to win a division rivalry game in Buffalo in November. Obviously, he feels good, as he should, but the win is more indicative, I think, of this Buffalo Bills team being a wagon. Okay, they got players everywhere. Josh Allen is a stud. Dawson Knox making some plays. Kincaid making some plays. Shakir has become a very big weapon, and then let's not sleep on Davis out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
He is making a big play every single week. You think about the defensive side of the ball now, obviously, and if the refs were trying to screw them early.
Big time.
Refs trying to screw the Buffalo Bills early.
They were
trying to screw the Buffalo Bills early.
Ain't holding.
And then at the very end of the game, if they're going to be getting calls like what happened with Jordan Poyer, inevitably puts them in the position to be able to kick that 61-yard field goal. It's like, look out, Buffalo Bills all of a sudden are a wagon at the right time. Gumpy, you watched the game. Obviously live and die with the Dolphins. Tua didn't look bad. Tua looked good at times. Tyreek was making some plays for the Miami Dolphins. You guys were back. You're going to win that game. Then you don't. How do you feel afterwards, and what are your thoughts on the Bills?
Bills played very good. I'm very proud of that Dolphins team. That was the best game we've played all season by far. I would argue the way Tua's stats are with the long ball and stuff, I would argue that was the best game he's played with ball placement, handing it off, us pounding the rock. Unfortunately, another fumble right after half like we did against the Colts kind of cost us the game, but I couldn't – I don't know.
This throw was filthy.
Yeah, like it's just it's a tough loss, but like after watching what I've watched, I was very proud of that Dolphins team yesterday.
Mostert runs very hard. Obviously, he coughs it up right there, and that's a big deal in the turn of a game that's very close. But, like, the way Mostert runs, I think everybody would like. Obviously got to hold on to the ball there. You pound the rock. You got Tua. Waddle gets in the end zone after a filthy touchdown. Odell Beckham Jr.
Two catches.
Tyreek Hill getting in there. Is it over for the Dolphins already?
Smith.
I mean, I'm riding till the end. You know how I am. Poyer can't do that. I love Jordan Poyer. The ball was gone. There's no need to even hit him here.
It happens fast, Gump.
But, dude, he's done it all year. He's had, like, 5 of those head-on-head penalties this year, dude.
Yeah.
And I love Poyer, but it's like, come on, man. We would have had the ball back with 50 seconds left to march down the field.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a helmet-to-helmet master. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, A.J. Hawk. Hawker, we were just talking, obviously, singing the praises of the Buffalo Bills. You had a 61-yard field goal. The football gods might be on your side. How do you feel about that Buffalo Bills team and the win over the Dolphins, Hawk?
Yeah, I mean, I've been a huge fan of Josh Allen for a long time. You know that. I think when your team runs through a dude like that, when he is the leader, a guy that's not scared to, like, sacrifice his body, we know that he is very reckless sometimes in how he plays, and he's not scared to throw his head in there. I think great things happen. And to Gump's point, Poyer, yeah, I get it, but, man, D-Butt, you're right. Like, things happen very, very fast. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. And he was trying to put his shoulder in his chest. I know he said that. And his helmet, the crown of his helmet kind of hits the chin/face mask of the Bills guy. I understand the rule and why they're doing it and why they threw the flag. But, man, it's just tough, man. It's tough, especially to play safety, I think.
Okay, so let's stay on this conversation. How about Branch getting kicked out in the second quarter of that
division? Kick him out. We can't kick him out for that.
Okay, that's what Tom Brady said, and now obviously everybody's like, well, Tom Brady's going to get fined from the league because he's an owner. He can't be critical of those types of situations. It's like, I think Tom Brady is doing well at calling games. Some people don't like the way he says some things. I like that he has passion, emotion, and cares about the games. But this second quarter, Branch, who's up for Defensive Player of the Year, gets ejected because of this. And what Tom Brady said, and hopefully it rings true because he's Tom Brady, even though a lot of people have maybe uttered the facts, it's like, can intent be classified here? Like, it's very obvious that he's not attempting to go helmet to helmet or to bury him, just trying to make a play late, ends up inadvertently hitting. But an ejection is a big move for a guy who's leading the team.
That's huge. I mean, and when we play, you rarely, I can't recall one ejection. So unless you're really, really malicious about it, I can see you throwing a guy out. But a fine for sure, a flag for sure, but not throwing a guy out. Especially, I mean, I know it shouldn't matter, but one of their better players in the back end. It is a violent hit. We obviously saw what happened with Olave. What happens pretty much, every other week in NFL is going to be some big-time collisions. But I don't think it warrants throwing a guy out. You definitely flag him. You definitely fine him. But you don't throw a guy out of the game for something like this.
Yeah, and, the helmet definitely hits, but you see little bit of a shoulder turn, right? Like, at least what the NFL has been trying to implement into the tackling world for the last decade and a half, 2 decades probably. You see him try to turn it. So to your point, definitely a penalty. Guaranteed fine in 2024. Guaranteed fine.
For sure.
But just kicking a playmaker out in a massive game.
What are the rules on that? What are the rules on that for throwing a guy out for targeting or whatever?
Okay. So on the penalty, Branch, is that an automatic ejection? Ref and the poll reporter says not automatic. We reviewed all the angles and we clearly felt that he had time and space to make a different choice, as the act was a flagrant foul and he clearly had the opportunity to avoid the head and neck area. So is that something that's decided on the field? In concert, we had a flag on the field, so we had consultation with the crew on the field as well as us here in New York. Okay, so they literally talk about, do we think he could have changed the outcome of what he did? Yes, we should kick his ass out. Interesting. We got humans in New York deciding who gets kicked out of games. And the Detroit Lions obviously go on to win that game.
Right.
And the Buffalo Bills, early people thought the refs were trying to take them. They go on to win the game. Jordan Poyer loses the game there. But in this entirety, don't love that that's kind of a, like how we feel. Yeah, we think, what if you wake up one day a little bit more lenient than days that you aren't as? And that's a huge game. Are you viewing it the same way as a game that isn't as big? It's just, anytime you add that human element of what can and can't happen is interesting.
No, and I think most Packers fans would agree. Like, watching it live, I was like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, I was shocked when they tossed him. And for all the stuff that we review and how much time they take to review certain stuff, like that, this decision was made very quickly. Like, it was just like they threw the flag on the field, they went to New York, and then boom, he was ejected.
Check his ass out.
Yeah, there was no, like, and this isn't college football. Okay, like this kind of stuff's going to happen, and you guys have talked about it. Like he was going to get fined, he was going to get a massive fine. You know, you could argue whether or not it's a dirty play or not. Like it was late, but to kick him out of the game that early in the game, like you can't do that. And for there to be really no discussion, it was just hey, New York said he's gone, and then that was the end of it.
Joining us now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, just part of it. I think is the ball been going too.
Yes,
been gone. Like Poyer's, the ball is right there. It was another one with Bryant, Seattle. The ball was right there. The ball being gone, already incomplete on the ground, and then that hit comes in. Probably has something to do with it too, but it's bang bang. I still don't like these.
Ejection is wild.
That's
Joining
huge.
us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who probably has a much better take on it than we do because he was probably a part of the rules being created. And also his opinions will actually shape what the rules are going forward. The greatest of all time, head coach and general manager, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Coach, we were just talking about it, and I assume it's going to be discussed by a lot of people, the decision to eject Branch as opposed to the standard flag and fine on top of it during the week. How do you feel about that type of thing? Is this an emphasis by the NFL? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, Pat, you're probably going to not like my opinion, but
you're saying
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you anyway. Well, here's where I am on the whole thing. I feel like football is a pretty complicated game, and when you look at rules like the kickoff or replay, those can be 7 or 8 pages long in the rule book. It's hard for the coaches to understand them. It's hard for the fans to understand them. And then you have overtime rules, and then you multiply that in the college game. And so I'm for trying to make the college and pro rules as much the same as possible.
Amen.
And where they can't be, they can't be. But for example, on this targeting situation, what I would be for is for the NFL to adopt the college rules, because that's what the college kids play for 3, 4, 5 years, however long they're in college. So they learn the rules, they learn what targeting is, how it's going to be called, and then they come into another league, which both leagues are trying to prevent targeting. Both teams are trying to prevent these type of injuries. But now we have a whole different set of rules. And I think it's confusing for the players. I think it's confusing for the fans. I think if you're in one league or the other, you can figure it out as a college coach or a pro coach. But I would be for making it all the same. And I think that would help the progression from college football to pro football be a lot smoother.
Coach,
whatever that is.
Coach, I don't hate your answer at all. I think that would actually add some consistency to the calls. I think the inconsistency of the ejection, fine, flag is what the big problem is. Like that's a massive player for the Detroit Lions. Branch is up for Defensive Player of the Year. Second quarter, it's like he gets ejected, but then we see it happening. And it's like, don't get it. I think if you were to do that, it would be more consistent, which I think everybody wants, Bill. I think that's what everybody wants.
Right. That's all I'm looking for. And whether he should or shouldn't be ejected, again, that's a decision that's made by the NFL executives in their office, and they have a very extensive replay system and network there where they have a lot of views and all that, and so they try to give you that consistency, so it's not one individual official making the call one way or the other at the game, and then another one in another city making a different call that all goes back to the same place. So that's their attempt to be consistent, which I respect. But I would just say beyond that, I would be for making as many rules between college and football as consistent as possible. Maybe we can't do it for the overtime rule philosophically. Maybe that just won't work. But the kickoff rule, replay, targeting, things like that are the 2-point play, put the ball on the 2-yard line, 3-yard line. I don't care. Put it wherever you want. Make it the same. Just for as much consistency as possible, just for the fans' sake and for for the sake of the game, where it's possible. I'm not saying it can all be the same rules, but you look at all the sports and most of the other sports, the rules are pretty dang close.
Yeah, and also to kind of send back that way, college needs to adapt. If you're not touched on the ground, you can get up and run.
Down by contact.
Yeah,
yes.
Down by contact.
Yes.
Needs to happen.
And they've adapted the scoop and score fumble rule, right? Where you could scoop it up and score. It didn't used to be the case. You're right. Now, if the player goes down off in college football, he's down. He doesn't have to be touchdown. So again, but that's such a minor thing. Just figure out which way you want to do it and do it that way, and try to make it the same for both of them. But I mean, we have millions and millions of fans. We're trying to promote international football and all that, and it's complicated. It's really hard. I think the more we can simplify it, the better it is for all of us.
Hey, Raj, come on. Let's go, Raj. We need it. That's our commissioner. He shouldn't let Derrick Henry get signed to the Baltimore Ravens, though. That commissioner should have stepped in and said, this is too good of a marriage, too perfect of a fit. How do you feel about this Baltimore Ravens team, and how do you feel about Derrick Henry joining that offense and seemingly being the piece that unlocks Lamar Jackson's greatness? His QBR, his pass percentage, everything they're doing offensively is the greatest they've ever done there. And Derrick Henry, we think, obviously is a massive piece. Why? How do you feel about the King and his return to form, and also the Baltimore Ravens going forward, Coach?
I think the Ravens are really, really good. I honestly don't think they've lost a game this year. The games they've lost, I think they, kind of, I don't say gave away, but they lost them more than somebody else won them. And I think the biggest phone for the Ravens is the Ravens. If they can just, do the things that they do well and do them consistently, they'll be great. But they've had some certainly a lot of trouble on defense, through the course of the season, particularly in the passing game. They've had some turnovers where they, drop the ball and kick it around and lose it. And, it's just stuff like that. Just mistakes that they shouldn't make. It's not caused by the other team. It's really caused by them. And so if they can just clean that up, they're going to be really hard to beat. Offensively, I've been saying all year, they're very, very hard to defend. They're so powerful with their running game, their offensive line. Rosengard's done a good job for him coming in there at right tackle. Ricard, obviously Henry, and then they're so fast with Flowers and Bateman and obviously Lamar, and they've got so many fast guys out there that it's hard to match their speed and their power and their physicality in the running game. So they're very tough to stop, and Lamar's playing great. I mean, on my all Belichick team, I made him the first half MVP. We didn't have MVPs, but he would have been my first half of the season MVP.
Okay, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
His leadership's been great. He's been a great playmaker. I mean, without them, I don't think they're nearly the same team as they are with them, but he's having a fantastic season and taking much better care of the ball. And really, I think, has stepped up his leadership this year to a very high level. So they're tough. I think defensively is the question that they've got to answer. And then, surprisingly, Tucker's not having the kind of year that we have all been used to seeing him have. He's still, you got a lot of respect for him, and he's had a tremendous career, but they're going to probably need some big kicks down the line. And I'm sure that they're hoping that he'll put them through like he always has. But this year, he just doesn't seem quite as sharp as he has in the past.
Yeah, have you looked at I haven't looked at him. I should look at him. Just at the beginning of the year, Coach Harbaugh said something about him changing his swing, and then I looked. It didn't look like he was changing his swing. Maybe operational. There's something to Justin Tucker missing. Abnormal. It's abnormal. I wonder if there's something. It's very weird for that to happen for Tucker. He was a machine, Coach. I mean, we're talking
Tell me about it.
middle of upright with like a perfect every single time. Anytime he misses, everybody on earth is like, what
the hell?
What the hell's going on? He'll get it together, right? He'll get tightened back up.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they certainly hope so. Look, when I played against Tucker, my thing was always, if we don't block it, just figure he's going to make it. So our only chance is to block it. Now, we got him on the vault, kind of like we saw Seattle, get a couple weeks ago, or Giants get against Seattle, but we got him on that one time. But if you don't block it, I mean, he was knocking them through. It's surprising to see him miss even a 60-yarder. He's so good.
Let's go, Tuck. Let's go.
Here you go, Justin.
Let's go, Tuck. We can't wait to watch. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, trade deadline tomorrow, obviously a big day for everyone all around this country. I know Sean Payton was asked about everything with the trade deadline, the team going to make moves, and he had a quote, I think, saying Superman is not walking in that door. Like, I guess, what do you say to fan bases or people out there that think, hey, if we just sign this one guy, this will put us over the top and make us a Super Bowl contender? Like, is that a real thing?
Well, first of all, the players have to be available, and I'd say there's a lot of teams that are dealing with a lot of injuries now, and maybe a lot of these teams, unless I think there are 9 teams with 2 wins and 2 teams with 3 wins, right? The Jets and Dallas both have 3 wins, so that's a third of the league that's 3 wins or less. They're obviously facing an uphill climb to get into the postseason. They have to go on a couple of long winning streaks for that to happen, but with everybody else, I think that teams that have 4 or more wins are all thinking, okay, we're in it here, and then do you really want to trade away the depth that you have? Obviously, there's a price for everybody, And if you came in there with a high enough price, then, I'm sure teams would be willing to trade good players. I don't know how many teams are willing to do that. I do think that, look, with only 8 games left in the regular season now, 8 and 9, whatever it is, however many you have left, there's both sides of that. It's like, okay, well, if we can get something for this player, we're without him for 8 games. How much do we want to give up for a player for half a season who hasn't been with us? What's that worth? And trying to find the right mix on that is hard. I thought that last week, when Uche was made inactive, that was a good indication that there was something going on, and they just obviously didn't want to get him hurt in the game, didn't play him in the game, and then trade him to Kansas City the day after they played. I think that if you look at some of the inactive lists from yesterday, there may be some clues there of players who normally might be active or would have been active. Maybe they're just hanging on to him for one more week, saying, well, if we don't lose anybody at this position, we'll trade the player on Monday. If we lose a couple guys, we're going to hang on to him, that type of thing. So I'm sure there's some conversations going on. I'd say how many of them are real, how many things are really close to happening. I'm not sure. Honestly, in my career, I've been in situations where I thought, well, this trade is right on the doorstep. It's literally a tap-in 2-inch putt, and it never goes in. And I've had other ones where I feel like, I'm 90 yards off the green, and there's no chance to even probably get near the pin, let alone get it in the hole. And it happened, like the Randy Moss trade, which that came down in the middle of the night. When he hung up on me and all that, it came down in the middle of the night between 2 draft rounds. So you just never know. You just never know.
Okay, so we think that the teams that stink are most likely to maybe snoop around to see what they can get for a player if they're going to change. We have 2 head coaches that have been fired already. Obviously, this morning, Coach Allen was fired. Is every team calling the Saints saying what's available, what's not available? Is that just like we're potentially for sale sign there for the Saints, you think?
Well, it certainly could be because, nobody had – look, the last time I checked, the Saints were like $80 million over the cap next year. So you can slice some of that off. That's still a lot. That's a lot of room. That's a lot of work to do. So would they be interested in maybe shortening or lessening a little bit of their bill for next year? Maybe. Look, I think any of those teams with 3 or less wins are potentially worth a call. It's a phone call. So what is that? It's just a little bit of time. It's worth it. I imagine many of those calls have already happened. And teams already have a pretty good idea of A, who's available, and B, who isn't. Again, for the teams that on the lower end here, the teams I'm talking about, these 2 and 3 win teams, take the Patriots, for example. Okay, the Patriots have, call it $100 million of cap space next year or somewhere in that vicinity. The chances of them getting a comp pick for anybody, I think, are very, very low. So to trade a player like Uche to get a pick back for him now versus to look at him as a comp pick, which they probably won't realize because they'll oversign. There won't be any comp picks for them next year. Makes sense. On the other hand, it also makes sense for Kansas City, who probably, because they have so many good players and don't sign a lot of free agents, probably will get a comp pick. And what they gave up for Uche is 6th in 2026. Really, they could probably recoup on a comp pick if they don't re-sign him. And if they like him, then they re-sign the player. So it makes sense for both teams. But I think teams that are going to be heavy into free agency can forget about those comp picks. And if they want to get something for the player now, even though it might not be very much, a 6th, a 7th, a 5th, something like that, there's still some value there because they realize in 8 games we're not going to get anything for this player when he re-signs with somebody else.
Yeah, and that 5th or 6th can be used to bundle later to potentially get up to something bigger in the future. You never know what it's going to become or what the deal could be. I like the fact that he says you got 3 or less wins. You're probably out there. 4 or more wins, you're still in it. Don't look now, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Don't look now, Indianapolis Colts. Okay. They're nowhere near the top, though, obviously. Con Man has a question for you.
Yeah, Bill, when it comes to those teams at the top, the Ravens, the Lions we've been talking about, there's always the worry, are they getting hot now when you need to play your best ball towards the end of the season? How do you, as a coach, help the team kind of sustain the level of play that you are playing when it is this elite and your team is this good, with the Ravens and the Lions both dominating right now?
Well, you look at a team like the Ravens, they were dominating yesterday, and were dominating last week, then we're dominating against the Raiders. So in the National Football League, you never know. The games are so close. We saw so many close games last week, a couple games in overtime. The favorites don't always win. That's why it's such an exciting game and exciting league. You just play week to week and try to keep doing the things you're doing well, and the things that you aren't doing well, you try to fix and make them better. So, look, I think that the Lions are still going to have to, address the overall pass rush situation. And I think that the Ravens are going to have to address their defensive consistency. They just haven't had it this year. You look at the couple of the quarterbacks and teams that are playing really well, like the Commanders, like the Lions, with really high efficiency on offense. They haven't turned the ball over. They're very good and very consistent, but they don't throw the ball, right? Daniels and Goff have thrown the ball less than anybody in the last few weeks. They're throwing 25 passes a game, and so that indicates balance in their offense. It's ball security, taking less chances, and just being very efficient. Can they sustain that? Can they go through the year and not have to throw 35, 40 passes a game? I don't know. I'm sure they hope so. I'm sure they hope they can keep the balance that they have, but that's certainly a challenge. And then you look at the Lions; they've done a great job. On the middle eight, the last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half, they're so far ahead of everybody else in the league in that category, and it's been a huge swing for them. Averaging about a touchdown a game differential there, roughly. That's hard to sustain. You try to do it, but that's hard to sustain. And so if you don't do that, and you take that one touchdown away every game, or even put a couple of those points to your opponents, then what do you have? So. I know the records are the records, but I think with each team, there's still a lot of room for improvement or, an opportunity to develop consistency that you're going to need. Might be good now, like you said. Can you keep it going for another 3 months?
That's a long time to stay hot, but maybe the Dolphins are able, or maybe the Lions are able to do it. Let's talk about the other side there. Ty Schmidt has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, in terms of, getting better and kind of seeking that consistency, what about a team like the Packers, who are one of the youngest teams in the NFL, but week in, week out, they're just, they're so undisciplined and they shoot themselves in the foot with pre-snap penalties. They're one of the most penalized team in the NFL. As a coach, is there any way at this point in the season you can fix that type of undisciplined play, or is it kind of just you are what you are at this point?
Well, I think as a coach, you absolutely try to fix it. You try to do everything that you can to fix it. You address it. Again, look, whether it's the pre-snap penalties or the turnovers, Green Bay's been haunted by these turnovers and particularly interceptions that, you go in there every week and say, well, that's something we can fix. If we just don't give the game away, we'll be all right. And I think this falls under, you don't win until you keep from losing. Pre-snap penalties they're your fault. All right. When you have pre-snap penalties, they're your fault. Defense isn't doing anything. They're just standing there. But, too many men in the huddle or substitutions or false starts or jumping offside, all those kind of things. And post-whistle penalties are also need to be avoided, right? Whether it's roughing the passer or roughing the punter or late hits and things like that. So, stuff's going to happen during the play, but before the snap and after the whistle, sure, you got to work hard to prevent those. There's a lot of ways to do that. Look, I remember when I was with the Giants and we jumped offside a couple times offensively, and Coach Parcells came in there and said, all right, that's it. We're going on one in the red area for the rest of the year. Everybody got that? We're going on one. You never have to ask what the snap count's going to be, because if we get in the red area, we are going on one, and we're not going to have any more penalties in the red area on, false start, illegal, any of that. We're going on one for the rest of the year. And, everybody kind of looked at each other like, all right, that's it. If you screw that up now, then you know what? You just don't want to do it. So, look, can you take drastic measures? I saw it done, and Coach Parcells was great at that. I thought it was one of his great moments. And that was, I've told the team that before too. Look, if we make another mistake in blitz coverage and don't cover one of these guys, I'm not calling any more blitzes. You can forget about it. We're not going to blitz. We're not going to blitz and turn one receiver loose in man-to-man coverage because we just, keep making mental mistakes or communication errors. So we just won't blitz. Well, when they hear that, then becomes a little more urgency to try to get that right. So I think as a coach, you do whatever you have to do to fix that. Absolutely. And sometimes it might be replacing a player if there's one particular guy that is an issue, and you can replace them. Then maybe you replace them. I'm not saying that's necessarily the answer because they're not getting penalized on every play, but man, you got to do something. I mean, as Coach Parcells used to say, I want to keep taking quotes out of his playbook, but there were very few players. There was only one or two players on our team that he didn't say this to, but to every other player, he would say, so-and-so, you're not worth penalties. You are not worth penalties. If you get a penalty, then we'll get somebody else in there. You're just not good enough to be worth penalties. Now, he didn't say that to Taylor, who didn't get many. He didn't say that to Bavaro, who didn't get many. He didn't say that to Sims, who didn't get many. But he said that to most everybody else, and he's right. If you're a highly penalized player, it's most of them just aren't worth it.
Yeah, be who you can.
It's just like if you're a running back. Everybody used to yell at me and criticize me. Well, if the guy fumbles, well, look, if you fumble the ball, I mean, how much do we lose field position wise on that? We could punt and call it a 45-yard net. So, you rush for 50 yards and fumble once, we've gained 10. You rush for 80 yards and fumble once. All right, we've gained, 45 yards, 35 yards, whatever it is. It's just not good enough. You can't win rushing for 35 yards. If you're going to fumble the ball, that just negates all the yardage that you gain rushing it by turning it over. So,
how do you
I
feel
think as a
about
coach,
running
you do
backs?
whatever you can.
How do you feel about running backs? Isn't that a thing? You never paid running backs, right? When that
Look, I love them, but I think you make it as hard as you can on them. You grease up the ball, you soap it, you put water on it, put soap on it, you make it as hard as you can to hold on to, so they have to hold on to it. And then you get in the game, and the balls are dry. It's easy, but you make it as hard as you can. You let everybody on defense punch the ball out, and if they punch the ball out, then you give them a reward. If they run sprints after practice or whatever it is, but anything you can do to address a problem, whether it's penalties, turnovers, whatever it happens to be, you do whatever you can to make everybody more conscious and more aware of it, because it's costing you.
It's hilarious to think about you going to the defense. Okay, we're not blitzing. In which everybody hears, we don't get to have fun. Oh. We don't get to do anything sweet. And then to the offensive lineman, we're going on one every single time. You know what that means? Everybody knows we're going on one. So your life is about to be miserable for the rest of the time here in the red zone. Is that what you want? Okay, we're gonna stop jumping off sides. Yep. That's a hilarious head. That's chess, by the way. Mm-hmm. That's that closed Sicilian we're running optically and mentally on guys to get the absolute best out of them. Now that's coaching. By the way, your name getting tossed right back into conversations. D-Butt has a question for you.
Yeah, I only played for about a decade. I know around this time, this is when you really start missing it, being out of the game. Couple coaches now have been fired through 9 weeks of the season. Have you thought about your coaching future going forward with some of these places open up? Obviously, your phone will be ringing. Have you put any thought into that so far? I know you've been busy.
Busy.
Pat. All right, so you and I had this agreement that this question wouldn't be asked of me when I came on the Pat McAfee Show.
I didn't get that memo.
You had D Butt toss it out there, so you wouldn't ask it.
You see that?
I didn't get that memo.
And I know you're a man of your word.
Yeah,
you flipped it over there to D Butt and said, "What about your
Your name is Schefter just brought your name up actually in the last hour. He said, "Vrabel."
Well, then go talk to Adam.
How did you miss it though?
So I'm going to have to go back to my press conference mode and say, we're just trying to focus on the next day. I'm just trying to focus on doing a good job on the Pat McAfee Show, and then the Let's Go show tonight. Which honestly, that was a great interview here. We interviewed Donald Trump, and also we have a couple other surprises on there. So this Let's Go interview was really just kind of got done taping out. It was really a lot of fun. So. Not to avoid the question, but let's go to the next question.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Can't wait to hear the interview with President Trump. I couldn't even, one day before the election, interviewing a president, you're cut out for it. I'm not. Yep. You are.
Hell yeah,
you and Jim Gray are cut out for it. We've had both political parties reach out about their candidates coming out, and I have clearly said we're not the ones that should be asking these things. You are, though. I'm excited to hear what your conversation.
Jim's done that every year. He's done it every year. So
I'm excited.
I know he invited both candidates on, and it was really, it was a lot of fun. So check it out.
I can't wait.
We would have had some good questions.
Yeah.
I mean,
what'd you do to that squirrel, damn it?
No,
he doesn't deserve that.
Well, and Fred, obviously. Fred, the raccoon, died as well. Nobody's talking about the raccoon that got murdered in cold blood. Yeah, everybody's
Yeah,
talking
no, they're
about
not.
the squirrel in this entire thing. Coach, as you look towards tonight, what are you expecting from the Kansas City Chiefs against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team? Obviously, a lot of injuries on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Chiefs favored by 9 at home. Should be an electrifying environment. What are your thoughts on the game, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, I think it'll be a really interesting situation offensively for the Bucs. They still had big day throwing the ball last week with Mayfield, and looked like they used Otten to do a lot of the things that they would use Godwin for. So Irving, I still think he's one of the best backs in the league. Very hard to tackle. So if they can get that running game going and keep the pressure off, so don't have to go back there and throw all the time. That'll be a big plus for them. Defensively, I still think that Tampa has one of the better fronts in the league, and they do a real good job with their pressure package. And I think that's one thing that Mahomes and Coach Reid are really going to have to be careful of, is that they don't have a turnover or have a real bad play because they don't handle Tampa pressure. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes, whether or not Kansas City can get the running game going. I don't really think they want to go back there and throw the ball all day against this front. I really don't. I would look for him to try to run the ball outside like everybody else has against Tampa, and to try to get away from Vita Vea and Kelce, some of those guys inside that are tough. See if they can pick up some yardage on the edge with whether it be jet sweeps or outside type plays or quick throws to the perimeter. So this will be an interesting matchup. Don't count Tampa out. I mean, they show what they had against Detroit, and they're a team that's got a lot of pride, and defensively they're very well coached.
Baker's playing the best ball we've seen him play as well. Without all the weapons, will that continue? We shall see. You think that guy, Travis Kelce, is going to continue to go? What are your thoughts on how his season has gone thus far?
Well, I think if you don't take care of Travis Kelce, he'll kill you. I think he's a guy you got to pay attention to, and it'll be interesting to see now. With Hopkins in there, and what they can get out of Worthy. That maybe they can start to balance things out a little bit. I think that he was getting a lot of attention early, and that helped open some other things up for him. But he had a big day last week. Look, he's a problem. He's definitely a problem. And if the quarterback scrambles, he becomes even a bigger problem, because that's who Patrick looks for when he scrambles, is Kelce. They have this telepathy, this sixth sense that they know where each other's going, and they find each other. And I've always said, when you play Kansas City in Mahomes, you got to stop the second play. You can stop the first play, and then he extends the second play, and then second play becomes some extended play, either Patrick running the ball or him buying more time and avoiding somebody in the pocket, and then finding somebody downfield, usually Kelce, to kill you on third down and in the red area. So it's not just the first play, it's the second play.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. We can't wait to watch the Manning cast. You've been doing any fishing lately? I think I saw you fishing.
Yeah, I got a big one. But I've been spending more time on the all Belichick team, and so we're going to come out with the rookies and second-year players this week. But just wondering what your take was on last week. And we put special teams in there. We had every position covered on special teams, all right, as well as the offense and defense. So halfway through, it's just a midseason report. But, try to be pretty thorough with it.
We'll have you know that AP Tone is actually doing a full segment on the all Bill Belichick team. I believe it's going to be Wednesday, so we are excited for it. We think it's a big title, especially you called LaMarvelous Lamar Jackson the MVP already of the all Belichick team. It's like, these are big awards.
We don't have MVP. We don't do MVP.
Yeah, but you just said it. You said it. It came out of your mouth. Belichick's mouth.
If we had one, he would be it.
Yeah. No, it was all Belichick. It was all Belichick MVP. He's all Belichick MVP. I think that's a big award.
Okay.
Yeah, huge. I believe you got the kicker right.
He's my captain because of his leadership. Same thing with Warner, captain because of leadership. But then we got the young guys coming out this week, so check that out too.
All rookie, all Belichick team. Holy
come on, rookies and first year players, because we had some guys last year that didn't play very much that all of a sudden have really jumped in there. I'll throw one teaser out there. A guy like Gonzalez. Okay, who got hurt last year and only played a couple games, and it really wasn't an all-rookie player. He just didn't play enough. I think he's having a pretty good year this year, so he would be the type of player that would get consideration for this team, in addition to rookies, guys that are having outstanding rookie years like Daniels and Verse and other guys like that. So they're all in the mix.
That'll be on Thursday from the Coach Podcast. And Gonzo flu was a real thing there for a while. The future's bright up there in New England.
Yeah, and it's still pretty real. People are getting real sick every week.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, prolific fisherman, greatest of all time when it comes to football coaching and general managing, just interviewed a president.
Yeah.
And a candidate for the presidency a day before the NFL trade deadline.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Belichick. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, Bill.
Would not want to do that. Just as somebody who has accidentally talked myself into political conversations before and then getting dropped in day before election.
I don't think so.
Why we wouldn't
I'm gonna
need
listen.
candidates? It's a way of Aaron to come on for.
All right.
VP candidate.
He kind of was a candidate.
At one point, he was being considered for vice president, obviously. That is...
But Boz was his kicker, so he made the right choice.
Boz is striking it right now. So is Kaimi Fairbairn. He's having a great year. There's a lot of guys doing phenomenal. We didn't really get a chance to chat enough about it. Thomas Morstead did his thing on Thursday.
Yeah.
Tyler Big Ball Bassett's a 61-yard game winner, AJ. I mean, that's a big deal.
Like it's routine too. That thing has had plenty of space too. Like how far that probably is good from 64, 65.
You just have to think about everything there mentally that Tyler Bass is going through. Now, he misses an extra point, 33-yard kick. Did hit another kick, obviously, after that, so he isn't coming off of a miss or whatever. But it's still in the back of your mind, 61-yard, you have to hit that pure because you got to hit that thing straight for a very long time. And the way he read it, the way he hit it, the way he stepped up to it, it's congratulations. And this could be the one that cracks it open. And, Bass is all the way back to being Big Ball Bass again.
Oh, and then last night, we talked about Reichard's been having an unbelievable year for the Vikings. Then he comes out, he misses two. Yeah, misses two, one long, one short. And then even Matt Gay came out, and he missed one too. And he's one of the highest paid kickers in the NFL. And those are indoors.
Yeah, Jerry's, we got these big games. That's Sunday Night Football. Big fight feel.
Yeah.
To have those.
Yeah.
A couple turnovers, a lot of turnovers, a couple missed kicks, AJ, have you chit-chatted about everything you said about the Colts quarterback?
It's pretty why do you seem to just lose all hope so quickly?
I don't lose all.
It seemed very quick. Very quick.
We got 4 wins. We're still very much in it. Okay, we're still very much in it. It looked bad. It looked. It was ugly.
Defense looked good.
It was a cagey match.
Defense looks good. Then Sam was able to do it. Justin Jefferson goes for 137 game record. Could have went for more, I guess. In the entirety of it all, Sam Darnold's able to do what he does. Kevin O'Connell, we think, is a great football coach, but it's just not being able to run, not being able to just a lot of it was a little alarming to me and not what I expected. Because
it's a good defense. Great defense they faced.
Great defense. Good news, only got the Buffalo Bills and then they got the Lions.
They'll be fine.
So
They'll be fine.
Jets and Lions.
It's a big confidence booster for the Lions as well. Going into Lambeau, all that rain, man, got to give them credit.
Yeah.
Pick six to end the first half. Pick six to end the first half is a killer. Absolute killer.
Jordan Love, live by the sword, die by the sword. The guy can throw 4 touchdowns and throw a couple picks, but if you don't throw 4 touchdowns and you throw a couple picks, then it's going the other way. That's the conversation. That's the missing piece.
Yeah, and it just goes back to the same thing. He's proven that he can take care of the ball, and for whatever reason this year, a lot of the plays, he's not okay with just checking it down. He's not okay with just, picking up 4 yards and living to fight another down. He's trying to throw a touchdown on every play, it seems like. You just got to know they're in the situation, especially with the Lions having the ball coming out of half. Whatever I do, I just can't turn the ball over right here, and much less throw a pick six. He did, and that was kind of the end of the game. But, hey, lots of cleanup going into the bye.
Yeah, lots of cleanup for a lot of teams. How about the Eagles, AJ? I don't know if you saw. Saquon Barkley made a defender look so stupid, so silly, so lost. Did a 180 back
There's going to be little
jump.
kids trying to do this, by the way. Little kids going to be trying to do this on football fields all over America now.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of butts to faces coming right down the pipe in the football world because Saquon, get off me. See you. How do you know?
That spin move before was unbelievable.
Yeah, the circle button, filthy. But then he decided to do that jump before that guy even decided to shoot his shot. He knew he was coming before he did. It's just he knew. He knew. How do you even think to do that? The creativity, obviously, absurd. It's like artwork in there. But then to have the football instinct to know what that guy's going to do and be like, yeah, I can get up over top of him for sure. So filthy.
Pure instincts, athleticism, because it looks like that second guy, he tried to hit him with the dead leg first. Didn't bite for that. Okay, he didn't bite the day leg. I'll go for the spin. And then instantly, okay, halfway turn. Like, what is that, bro?
Then he's looking for him, too. Like, yep, here he come. Yep, exactly what I predicted. This is how I saw it going. If it means anything, this is exactly how I saw it.
He starts to turn midair, too.
Yeah.
Like, backwards. Cool, turn. I'm going to get some more yards.
Yeah, that's like that Ryan, what's his name down there at Alabama, the 17-year-old?
Ryan Williams.
Ryan Williams. Whenever he did that jump pirouette thing, where he was thinking in midair, the body control, it's like Saquon was doing the same exact thing. Let me go ahead. Let me clear this guy enough room so he can get through this way. Then let me go ahead and turn the gate a little bit here and then get down and continue so I can run somebody over. It's like, what a dynamic playmaker and a change for that Philadelphia Eagles team. And D-Butt brought it up early in the program. It's like last year at the end of the season, what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles? Let alone, off the field, but on the field. It was like, you think they got Saquon Barkley in the backfield, the same thing's happening? And he even mentioned, like, you think Jason Kelce's deciding to retire if he gets a chance to block for Saquon Barkley? I think it's a little bit different, everything over there in Philadelphia. What a nice additional piece they added this offseason.
Yeah, even that catch right there, like, it looks kind of routine and easy if that's like a top, A grade wide receiver. Like, it's not a lot of running backs making that catch. AJ can tell you better than I can. Like, when you have a weapon like that on third down in the red area that can get out of the backfield or even line up at wide receiver, like Le'Veon Bell when he was at his peak, that was the problem that he posed the most defenses. So Saquon, being in his prime, if he stays healthy, man, he can definitely be the difference for this team.
Yeah, let's go to New York Giants fans and see how they feel. You knew Saquon was going to be this good this year, or were you guys saying he was washed over there?
I mean, if we had $53 million in our backfield and we were still 2-7, which we probably would be just based on our overall roster construction, we'd be in even worse shape moving forward.
You're talking about $40 million to Daniel Jones, $13 million to Saquon Barkley, $40 million to Daniel Jones.
And the hindsight on that Danny deal is 2020. Like, at the time we win that playoff game, everybody wanted him. Maybe people wanted him on the Colts even. So you can't go back and look at that decision.
There's a lot of people.
And bash Shane Ford too much. But the real problem is Evan Neal is his high draft pick, first rounder. He doesn't even play because he's so bad at tackle that we can't put him out there. Kayvon Thibodeau kind of been a non-factor. The list goes on and on. Our roster construction is, just a top to bottom bigger problem than just Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so you guys actually let him go live.
Yeah.
Go live. Go do jump McTwisties over people's heads.
Thrive somewhere.
Go win somewhere. I appreciate the Giants doing that. Thank you for lying, Joe Shane, to Mara's face so that Saquon Barkley could go, like a peacock, spread his wings and fly, AJ.
Right,
I like that they did. You know what? The Giants growing on me.
It's a nice
They're
play.
good people over there for doing that for
Nice people
Saquon.
over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice people.
We never see this if he was still on the Giants.
No way.
Why are the fans
No
so mad
chance.
still in?
No chance.
Good for them. Good for the Eagles. Yeah. Big Dom's
What do
got
you
a
tell your
headset on.
DB? Hey, if you're a DB coach, what do you tell him quick? Like, hey, you got to make this tackle. You got to wrap up. What are you going to do?
I mean, that's one of those when you just look at your coach, he looks at you and you just...
Yeah. He probably says to him, that's going to get 7 million views in about 20 minutes. Nothing you can do there, brother. Sometimes you're going to get dunked on when you live in the paint. We'll pick the game tonight, and we'll be back tomorrow. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. I feel like I really hit that.
Yeah, that was going.
A lot of WPM there.
Yeah,
At the end. Yeah. I love the nice pat on the back every time it happens. You got to celebrate the little things.
Why wouldn't
Right.
Why not?
I can't reverse jump over people anymore. Anymore.
Good.
Give me a trampoline back in the day, be able to do it. I'm not going to knock down every three, which I wonder if you guys are still going to be shooting unconscious this week.
We will.
Yeah, we'll see.
You look super cool.
We will. Thank you.
You look super cool today.
You too.
It's a good fit.
Thank you.
How was the weekend, dude?
Weekend was great. Great weekend.
You're doing football kickoff stuff, right?
I did CBS Sports HQ pregame Sunday.
Nice.
Pete Prisco?
Logan Ryan, former Colt, former Rutgers Scarlet Knight. He's been calling some UConn games, so talk to him about that.
Legend.
UConn got another win. Pete Prisco, Pete Prisco. Tommy Tran, and Jamie Eisenberg.
Oh,
our
okay.
fantasy guy. So it was a good time.
Okay, that's fun. I get a chance to join that game day morning crew on NFL Network every Sunday. That's a fun time.
Looks like it.
It's a good crew.
I do enjoy that. I'm a fan of all theirs. So
Yeah, spelled your name right this week.
yeah, that was very kind of them.
Is there a new segment this week, too?
What's it? Yeah, Ian's all I know.
Ian's like it.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to change it every week.
Yeah.
I like Ian's ought to know.
Ian's all I know, and then I'm asking them questions because I think the way they thought of it, whenever this is the NFL Network people, they got big brains.
Sure.
Big segment people.
Yeah.
NFL Network are big segment people. Brains are good and clever. The specialist thing, whenever they said it, I was like, genius. Jesus, it's genius. It's been there the whole time. It's been there the whole time. Whenever they go, how about Yin's all to know? I'm like, deal, I'm in. I think what they thought was I'm going to potentially be giving them things that they ought to know. But instead, I was like, I have questions that Yin's all to know.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm putting it in there as opposed to me. Their program, not mine. I would like the answers from you guys. Then it got into Mooch loving enchiladas as well.
Yep. The Jerry Rice story.
Rice story.
Awesome.
Where T.O. goes off for 20 receptions on Jerry Rice Day as Mooch head coach. Jerry Rice almost fights Steve Mariucci, obviously, for the disrespect.
I remember that.
It's good time. I really enjoy that show. They're good people to me. And those NFL Network seg people, they got good brains.
Best in the biz.
Where do those come from? They're like writing those the back of Fruity Pebbles boxes used to have like those jokes and stuff that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they got hired.
I think that's exactly where they're going from.
The Laffy Taffy people.
Sure.
You usually don't get along with those.
Bubblicious.
They must be good.
I mean, we don't even see
cap.
each other.
Sure.
We don't even see each other.
Probably good move.
Do they talk in your ear at all or no?
What's that?
Do they
Week
pop in?
week one, when Walt Anderson came up, there was somebody that dropped through the Zoom call that I didn't hear. Please don't kill Walt Anderson.
Really?
Yeah,
awareness.
That was literally as I was sitting there because Walt Anderson's name popped up and something came up and they're like, Walt Anderson said this earlier, and I go, all right. And then I was about to give some thoughts, and instead I said, we'd like to thank Walt Anderson for his service to sport. Obviously, I did. Walt Anderson gave me the penalty strictly because he didn't like me, so I feel the same way about him.
It's bullshit. You know what Yins ought to know?
What's that?
Something else happened this weekend.
What's that?
My sport.
Rest in peace, Peanut.
What happened?
What sport?
Pinnacle. Pinnacle Motorsport.
No, that's over. Remember, Austin, Texas was a Super
Indy
Bowl.
500's
Daytona 500 happened
down
this
in Brazil, Formula One. Unbelievable race in the rain, which NASCAR
couldn't even get it out.
Couldn't
It's
do it.
unbelievable.
No, they do.
IndyCar probably wouldn't do it. Nah, when it rains like this.
Yeah, you guys don't pass each other. Obviously, the rain doesn't matter.
Unbelievable race in the rain.
Who won? I know. Max Vanderstock. Is that who won? Is that who won the race?
It's a bad week. I walked right in there. It's a bad week to ask me who won, but Max did win.
Holy shit.
Probably the best race of his career. But it's been like, 10, 11 winners this year. So that whole narrative of, look at that. Boom. Max went 10 races.
Changes, D-Butt? Any lead changes? Any lead changes in this race?
Yeah, it was a lot of lead changes.
Max went 10 whole races without a win.
What?
That's a long time.
Yeah, for Max
That's a
Vanderstoppen,
long fucking time for a guy that's leading the championship race right now.
Well, congrats, Max. Way to get back on top.
Finally did it, brother.
Good race. Got you to it, man.
Didn't he lose his engineer, right? He lost his engineer?
He did. Adrian Newey.
Can't do it without him.
He lost Newey?
He lost Newey, brother.
Newey's old news, brother.
It's like losing Bill Belichick and Ernie at the same time.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but instead he gets back in a big win. He started out 17th, so he had to
17th.
pass people. So what happened? So everybody, when he does a lap, they're like, okay, that's the fastest lap. He's now in 16th place. Or is he actually passing?
Yeah. He actually on the first lap, I believe he went from P17 to P10.
Stop.
Passed 7 guys he's the best wet racer there is.
Sure.
But,
sure.
Also, he got lucky with
definitely.
it was a red flag. Obviously, stopped the race, and you can change your tires when you did that. So he got lucky with the timing of that. He was able to change the tires.
Rigged.
A lot of people will say, worked out for Red Bull, but it was good. It was a good race.
All right, let's get to a break. Congrats to Max Vanderstoppen.
Congrats. Miss you, Newey.
I'll tell you what, traffic in Austin was bananas. And Newey, the Newey effect,
It's real.
Talk about it.
very real.
Yeah.
Not as much as the Taylor Swift effect. AJ, I don't know if you've ever been to one of the shows.
I have not been to one of the shows. I think my brother was at Friday or Saturday in Indy with his daughter. But yeah, it sounds like it's unreal.
Dude.
It's the airports, bro. 'Cause I was in Miami and Indy. The airports, like you see her merch.
It's whole city.
On like 65% of the humans in the air. It's crazy.
$100 million brought into Indianapolis.
Man.
The Eras concert.
Yeah, that'll play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody all in, AJ. Everybody. I mean, every word, every song, every hand motion. I guess there's little things that happen during the show, too, that they've created since the Eras Tour began last year, where, like, in different moments, just place loses its fucking mind. And I have no idea what's going on. And then I look out, and they're like, nah, it's just part of it. It's like, of course. Of course it is. There's never a moment for you to, like, lull.
No.
No, there's no, like...
Just goes.
There's no board. Good. There's no, like, anything. It's like... All hands on deck, whole fucking concert.
How much did you say it brought in?
$100 million.
Think the stadium can afford a jumbotron now, then, or
that is something because people are looking up in the corners. You know, watch this because there's some things.
Oh, she was probably so pissed when she saw that jumbotron.
Her operation.
She's gonna have like 5,000 semi trucks, right?
So I saw them all. I got a chance to see them all on my way in. Yes, there's like 30 of them. 30 trucks, 40 trucks. And then, like, the quality of everything is so high. Like, didn't mail it in on anything. The pyro, the lighting, the LED show, like the show, the amount of money spent on just the LED of the stage for the entire show. Everything is just like, and then the way they had the speakers set up. So normally echo in that place, terrible echo in Lucas Oil Stadium. I think any stadium, well, Lucas Oil Stadium's acoustics might be the worst in the entire NFL, like legitimately might be. So they brought in speakers to basically sound each like zone of the perfect audio. Somehow didn't echo all over the place. It was like no stone left unturned from this operation. And that's why she's made $1 billion.
Exactly.
It is worth it, AJ. Insanity.
Now she's this is the last one here, so now it's international.
Two more cities in Canada. I think Toronto and Montreal, maybe. I don't remember.
Vancouver.
Okay, 6 shows in Toronto. 6 times.
In the same spot? Same spot? Jeez.
Monster.
Yeah.
Absolute monster. Wow. And third day in the same stadium is when we went Sunday. And the performance was as if it was the first time she ever did. This is the last of the year. It was as if it was the first time she ever did it. The energy, the story, it was just...
No flubs.
No flubs.
None.
No flub. Promos, no flubs. There was one time when she was describing Gracie, the opener, where she was putting her over, and she wanted to use one more word to describe, and she thought for a half a second, and I was like, she's a human. That's the first time I've seen her just even... And then what came out of her mouth was a compliment that I never heard of before. And it's like, of course. What a fucking monster. Thanks for coming to the city, Taylor.
Oh, yeah, Taylor.
Come to the city, Taylor. But you talk about your brother and his daughter. It was a lot of that, looking around, seeing dads with their daughters. Sure. That was a cool moment, man. Those little girls singing their asses off, losing their shit. All you need is one sound from a song to come, and it's... You know that video of Kanye where he hits the piano or whatever? Yeah. And everybody goes crazy. It was like that for every song with Taylor Swift.
Even in between the songs.
In between the songs, the little thing pops up. It's like, boom. Everybody knows exactly what's going on. It was an experience. It was an experience.
You said it in the first hour. The most positive 3.5-hour event I've ever been to.
And then I got told I got hit with some Tay voodoo because I was tweeting about the game.
Probably.
While I was there. I'll tell you what, I missed out on a lot of things in the game. At the time, had to rewatch it all because I was captivated.
Yeah. Impossible not to be.
Oh, my God. Joe Flacco threw a pick at the exact time the Tortured Poets Society era started.
Yep, that's the voodoo.
The exact time. Mm-hmm. Notification pops up on phone, look down, throws a pick, son of a... And then the screen turns to the dark color, and then something starts coming. And my wife's like, this is the... And then so high school. So I didn't even think about the pick. And then by that time, Darnold threw a pick. And we're back on the other side of the Tortured Poets Society. It was wild. Great show. Congrats. Thanks for the hospitality. They were very kind. People very nice. Taylor does know our program.
Let's go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was relayed them. Yeah. Pretty wild to think about.
Sweet.
Hey, Taylor, this thing was super cool.
Hands up.
The whole place was all in. And then she did this thing all the way around. Very cool. Very, very cool. And then her just hitting her beats. And then her team behind her. I think one of Travis's teammates' brothers is a dancer, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen that guy.
Jackson Mahomes?
Yeah. That's Patrick Mahomes' brother. It's another team. It's not
not him.
Not
Different
Patrick
teammates.
Mahomes.
Good
D lineman, I believe.
The one that did the backflip. The D lineman did the backflip.
Yeah, bingo. This guy. The backup dancers all have a lot of sauce.
Got some mic time.
Yeah, it did. Sang a little bit.
Shit.
Yeah, it was a hell of a show. I'd recommend it. 3.5, 4 hours too. Just no flubs. All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we'll pick some games. What was our records this weekend picking games? How'd you do, AJ?
Not as good as you, I believe. Yeah, look at you, 9-5. You kidding me?
Seeing the board, huh?
I want to
You got a chance to get double digits.
Yeah. The NFL, I've been seeing it. Pretty good. College game day, I won 3-8.
That's going to happen.
No.
Everyone
Tough
lost.
wild day in college.
It was.
Yeah, everyone lost.
Yeah, it was.
Gamecocks doing what they did to Texas A&M. I didn't think it was going to be possible because of what I saw from Texas A&M in their walkout video. I thought that Texas A&M team was going to be. But then obviously I should have remembered Shane Beamer, that South Carolina team, at night, everything from earlier in the year.
Sandstorm.
That's on me. That's a mistake. Louisville, Clemson, I mean, what are we? I don't think anybody.
That South Carolina atmosphere, is one of the best atmospheres in college football, and credit to them because they haven't, they're not one of the best teams in college football.
Yeah, their fans love it.
Yes.
Down there. And then, obviously, Ohio State beating Penn State. Congrats, AJ.
Congrats, AJ.
Big win. Big win.
Big win, yeah. Hey, you needed it. They started the last drive. He started at their own 1 yard line.
How about the third down there early, though? Taunting penalty? I don't know, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, come on now. We know. The quarterback, Will Howard even said, I probably played the worst game that I've played, and we still won. So thanks to everybody, my teammates and all that. So to be able to get a win when you're not playing your best is a great thing.
Yeah, and if you're Penn State, that PTSD that I heard from every person on campus
Man.
is just only getting more and more and more serious.
Building. Texas Tech over Iowa State.
Yes, it's a huge. Kansas State loses. Big 12, all of a sudden, guess what?
Look out.
Look out.
Trust the climb.
Look out. Travis Hunter, very cool.
Colorado
about to
at
ask you about
Texas
him.
Tech this Saturday, too.
Okay.
Travis was very cool. Thanks for coming out to the show, Travis. He was very nice, taking photos of everybody.
Yeah, he's going to New England.
Jason Kelce stinks at kicking footballs. He's good at spiking phones. though.
Great.
Very good.
Might be the best phone spiker of all
What are
time.
people thinking? What are people thinking?
I mean, there's a
Following
whole lot
him.
to go.
Classy.
There's a
Penn
whole
State.
lot that goes into all that, That's life, though. That's like modern world life, Because a majority of humans awesome. Just like the internet. Majority of people on the internet, I think, awesome. But all you need is just a handful of people to really.
There's consequences, man. You're free to say whatever you want, but there's consequences for your actions sometimes and what you say.
Bingo.
Just glad you didn't punch him in the face.
Yeah.
That was.
Because, when you're in the heat of somebody's that close to you saying some shit like that.
About your
You got pushed. Kind of got pushed, too. Come on now.
Me and Gumpy in stadium. Okay, me and Gumpy in stadium. No service in stadium at all. 111,000 people. New record up there, I think. No service. We're standing in the corner watching the first quarter because the schedule to get out it's wild. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And
Oh, yeah. You all of a sudden you come out, boom, there's a stadium up on there, and you don't really see anything else.
Yeah, they are all in, obviously. 111,000, they are all in. But we're standing in the corner of the end zone watching the game, and somebody comes up and goes, did you hear what happened to Kelce? And I think they were supposed to come inside with us, with game day. They chose, I don't know. One thing happened. They end up not coming in with us because field goal kicking last segment before we go inside. So I thought coming in with us. Instead, go out there. So I didn't see him for a bit. And I'm standing there and I go, it's a pretty good game when we get out of here. Have you heard what happened to Kelce? I'm like, no. And they say, the person that relayed the information, me and Gumpy goes, he hit a kid. And I go, oh, fuck. That's my first reaction. Like, that's not good. No service in phone, though. So we're Amish right now. We're just word of mouth. So then somebody else comes up. Did you hear what happened? I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like starting to get sick to my stomach. I'm starting to get sick to my stomach. I'm like, the field goal kick is the reason. Oh, no. I feel like a terrible person. He was supposed to come in with us. I thought, in my head, I'm like having a full panic. And then we see the video that we released. It's like, you're going to talk your shit. This is the real world.
Yeah. Not Twitter.
This is the real world now. That is what happens out there. So he was a horrendous kicker.
Sure.
Horrendous kicker. We donated a few 100,000 more to hurricane relief. I believe Vans and Tim's are in there. # kick it forward. If you kick a field goal or attempt to kick a field goal in a Vans or Tim's, they'll donate $100 for 1,000 up to 100,000. It's like good was done. Good was done. That was a wild video to see.
It was.
Me and Gumpy thought it. My mouth was almost watering.
I was hoping it was like a bit. First time I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is like a staged bit they have. They're doing something here. Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right, on the other side, we'll make our picks, and then we'll wrap up this glorious, massive Overreaction Monday. Football's awesome, man.
Yep.
Let's go, football. And then tomorrow, NFL trade deadline, Tuesday, November 5th. Everybody's talking about it, AJ.
Everybody's talking about it. Yep. Can't wait. Trade at what, 4 p.m.? Is that trade deadline?
Yep. Trade early, trade often. Everybody's talking about the trade deadline, November 5th. Everybody's fighting because the trade deadline is November 5th today. That's what everybody's talking about.
Yep. That and the CFP.
Steve Kornacki. Does he have any new competition for the fucking map button?
No.
Nope.
We'll see. He's been training 4 years for this.
Yeah.
AI, I bet they made one.
AI probably does. Elon probably has some robot that's going to hop out of one of those little things and come out and go, in this town, bing, 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 bing. Zoom out, zoom in.
His robot might be biased, though.
Yeah, Elon's all in. Had to mute him.
He has to be.
Had to mute him.
He is very much all in. I think he is. The Algo showed a couple of his quotes saying, probably go to jail if Trump doesn't win. Something like that, I think. It's a crazy world over there in politics. We all need to remember, we all have to fucking live here together at the end of this.
Hell yeah.
Okay? Have to. Let's remember that. We're in this thing together. We'll be back on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Like dude wives. Take 5. Ryu, did you know you would be good in front office? Did you know that this was going to be something you would succeed at?
I didn't know I'd be good at it. I didn't even know I'd be doing it. It's an interesting story as to how I ended up here. I ask myself that often. Way back when I was a kid, I did love like the NFL draft. My dad used to pull me out of school. Out of half day, he'd come pick me up at lunch. We'd go watch the draft. So I loved that. Throughout my career, I'd piss my wife off by not only watching round 1 through 3, but then watching round 7. And I'm filling out sheets. And I think the thing that probably piqued my interest, I was living in Denver after I got done playing there. I'd become friendly with Elway. We played some golf together and he looked out for me. We had the same high school coach. We went to Stanford, played football, baseball, same fraternity. That was like the poster on my wall. But Elway took the leap at the Broncos. And in his first year, he said, Johnny, you know, I'm keeping a lot of the scouts, but I don't know them. I love the way you think about football. Could you watch the safeties this year and write some reports? And so I did that for him. Remember, it was the year of like Mark Barron and Harrison Smith. And I took a lot of pride in, I had no idea how scouts did things, but I just watched it like I would watch film, and I sat there at the computer and wrote some reports, and Elway was blown away with like the detail. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. The next year he says, that was awesome, Johnny, why don't you do the DBs? So I did the entire DBs. I added the corners. The next year he invites me in for their draft process. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of time. I went to Indy. I went to the combine with the Broncos that year. So that started piquing my interest. Long after that, there was a guy who ended up bidding for the Carolina Panthers, and he didn't get the team. Tepper got it, but there was another gentleman by the name of Ben Navarro, and I worked with his brother at Fox, and he one time asked if he could meet with me, and out of the blue asked me if I would run his team if he got the Panthers. And I said, really? Are you serious? And he asked me to kind of put together a vision statement for how I would run a team, and so I spent a couple weeks doing that. I met with him, and from that point forward, I kind of just said, if the right scenario ever came about, this might be something I want to do. I was missing like competition. I was missing scoreboard. I was missing the wins, the losses, all of that. Out of nowhere, something was keeping me up at night one year. I didn't even know what it was, and my wife said, something's on your mind. I know you when you're acting like this. You can't sleep. And I had done a bunch of Falcon games that year, and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. It's the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and I heard something like Kyle Shanahan's going to get this Niners job, and that's the one he wants. But somebody said he's struggling to find a GM he wants to work with, and so something was on my mind. I had done a bunch of Kyle's games that year, and I gave him a cold call, and I just said, hey, dude, I want to thank you for all the time you've given me all year in these production meetings. I heard something that you're struggling to find a GM. And he goes, I am, man, it's killing me. I think I am going to take that Niners job. And he goes, why are you asking? And I said, well, consider me. I don't even know if I do it, but just think about that and see what you think. And his first question, he's like, dude, why would you do that? You got a great job. You got a great life. Like, why would you even consider doing that? I said, you go play your games. He did. He called back and he said, man, I can't stop thinking about what you said to me. Would you do that? And I want you to come meet this dude named Jed. Well, that dude named Jed was our owner here, Jed York. Came and met Jed. We flew cross country to Atlanta. I was offered the job on that flight. We meet with Kyle and the whole thing's wrapped up. I hadn't even talked to my wife or family yet. It all moved kind of fast, and here we are 8 years later. So sorry for the long story.
No. I'm
That's the only way I know how to
hoping we get
Yeah.
3 or 4 more of those. That was phenomenal. Hey, thank you for blessing us with that information. And also, shout out to you being somebody taking initiative and being like, you know what? Yeah, this is something I want. And diving right in and being prepared and knowing that you're prepared.
Probably the most interesting trade was the Randy Moss trade. After the draft, the first day of the draft, we've been trying to trade for Randy Moss for 2 months. All like childbirth. I mean, it took forever. After the first day of the draft, I talked to Mr. Davis. I said, are we going to make this deal or not? And he said, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it for your 4th. And I think we were picking like 7th in the 4th round. I said, well, we got to get the guy in for a physical. We can't take his contract. We're going to have to renegotiate his contract. And Mr. Davis said, well, that's your problem. If you want to trade for him, then you get it done. I said, all right. I call up Randy. Hey, Randy, this is Coach Belichick. Boom. Hangs up the phone. What? Let me try this again. Randy, it's Coach Belichick. Who is this? Who's pranking me? Who is this? Boom. Hangs up the phone. Randy, this is Coach Belichick. We traded for you. What? Is this a joke? This better not be a joke. Who is this? No. This is, all right. Really? I said, yeah, but look, we got to get this done by tomorrow at noon. He goes, all right, what do I need to do? I said, you need to come up, take a physical, and we need to renegotiate your contract. It's by noon? Yeah. He goes, well, I'm in Houston now, but I got a plane. I'll be there.
Nice.
He flies, and he's there at 8 o'clock in the morning, comes in and takes the physical. You know, the old,
Yeah. Make sure he's
98.
live.
Okay, you're good. Renegotiate the contract. We're done at 10 o'clock. And first thing he says to me is, where's the playbook?
Oh, that's awesome.
I said, right here. He said, okay, because when I walk out there with the first team with Brady, I got to know all the plays. I can't go out there and make mental errors and screw up. I got to know his offense. And he was smart, man. This guy was smart. On this post-safety coverage, what are you going to do? He goes, Coach, you ain't going to see any post-safety coverage against me. Like, oh. He goes, you're going to see cover 2. We haven't seen cover 2 in years. He's like, you're going to see cover 2. And he was right. And then he would say, well, here's how I'd run this route. Here's how I'd run that route. And I started thinking, like, we got to start giving Randy some routes. We're running this, and they play cover 2. How we can move him into the slot. He's like, move me into the slot. I said, yes, so you can get in the middle and cover 2. He's like, all right, good. 25 touchdowns.
So many.
Yeah.
Opens up the running game, too.
I'm telling you, it was Randy, come on, man. I'm trying to.
He's saying don't go off the top. It's too shallow.
All you're going to hear this stadium do is they put the big paw up, they start shaking it, they go, whoa. Hey, look, things are going good. Yeah, he loves the defensive side of the ball. He said yesterday to me that this is a blue-collar team. They win it on special teams. They have 5 block kicks this season. The defensive side of the ball, Lynch leads the Big 12 in sacks. But also on the offensive side, Denzel Mims is an absolute animal. He is a weapon. Charlie Brewer, the quarterback from Lake Travis. His dad was a quarterback in Texas. Yeah. His grandpa was a quarterback in Texas. And the people here in Waco just so happen to get a chance to see Charlie Brewer on a daily basis. Okay. Hey. Yeah, Boomer here is going to mean a little bit different than what it means on the internet currently. And hopefully here in Baylor, they hope they're not hearing a lot of Boomer sooner. Everybody wants to be a punter, including quarterbacks. If I was a quarterback, I'd want to be a punter as well. 0 yards on that punt. That's an embarrassing situation. The Dak dance that gets on national television has led to a lot of losses, but you got to respect the hips being able to. What sign am I going to make for college game day? Well, I want to make something creative. I want to make something fun. No, to hell with it. I don't like OU. It's so thick. Look how thick that thing is. That's years and years of patience. 19. You're headed right for the boat. Right now? Okay, let's do it. We are out here on the Brazos River, which you can take a boat to the game. One of the only stadiums in the country that you can do that. It's beautiful out here. A lot of people would say, this is the last time I'm going to be on game day. The last time I allegedly did what I'm about to do, I ended up in a jail cell. Let's go! Bad decision. The blue kickers are getting way down here. A lot higher than I thought. You look like Ric Flair.
That's full commitment, by the way.
All right, here we are on the NFL Pro homepage. Let's step into the film room. Show you how quickly, how easily we can find any play from any week. This is week 2. Find a play result. Interceptions, of course. One of the best interceptions I've seen ever. Not the one against Tua. Let's go to Cam Taylor-Britt against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to pick which camera angle we want, broadcast or sideline. I'm going to go with the broadcast view. It's just a quick, easy example of how quickly you can use this NFL Pro tool. Awesome, awesome tool. I mean, unbelievable interception. Let's go, baby.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this massive Overreaction Monday, November 4th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football is awesome. That's AJ Hawk. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys AP Tone is here. Tone, where's all the money at on this evening's Monday Night Football matchup?
Split. If I looked at it earlier, it's 52% on the Chiefs.
Chiefs favored by 9 at home, with the Buccaneers a little bit of a wounded duck flying into Arrowhead, where we know it's the home of the Chiefs.
Taylor probably there.
Yeah, which
bodes well.
Just after what I experienced last night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out.
If she's in the building, there is going to be an effect. That is just how it needs to go. If there's even a thought that she's in the building, there's going to be an effect. And it is a real one. Now, this Kansas City team, is it time for them to turn it on? Is it time for them to start being who we all thought they were going to be? They're undefeated, favored by 9, haven't really even seen their best stuff yet. Is tonight the night that it happens? 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler is here. D-Butch, what are your thoughts? You think tonight is the night that we see the best Chiefs team that we've seen all year, even though they're the only team left that's undefeated?
I mean, it lines up for them. It all does. Prime time, you got the Buccaneers defense coming in. They've struggled against the pass all season long. And then on their offensive side of the ball, they're missing their top 2 weapons with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Young guy McMillan's out as well. So it's all lining up for the Chiefs to kind of have that breakout game. You saw D-Hop last week, only 2 catches. Chiefs are great on third down. I think D-Hop will get more involved tonight, and Kelce will start to be a little more Kelce that we know at this part of the year.
Okay, before we make our picks, let's cover some of the NFL stories that happened yesterday that we haven't got AJ's takes on. Big Mike McCarthy, lame duck year, last year of his NFL contract. We see something from him on the sideline after a failed 4th down attempt that I don't think I've ever seen with Big Mike. I know he is a fiery guy, a yinzer. Him smacking Dahn. Not the iPad.
No.
Surface. It is the Microsoft Surface that everybody obviously knows and uses. What do you think this is? Is this a message to the team, or how do you take this as a guy who used to play and has won a Super Bowl with Big Mike McCarthy?
Yeah, I mean, he's not scared to get frustrated, but you're right. I don't know if I've seen him on the sidelines of a game throwing down, this Microsoft Surface right there, just disgusted by, I guess, what's going on in the field. But they got, Dak? I heard Dak's hammy is worse than we thought. He could be out how many weeks now?
Yeah, Dak's going to be out for a few weeks, I believe, is how it was described. Him that late in the game on a throw with no contact, having his hammy pop is alarming. That is normally a very serious. So T's and P's to Dak on his health and his recovery. But in the middle of the game, we fucking suck, dude. Yeah. So that's how Dak is viewing it. Big Mike McCarthy's slamming things. CeeDee Lamb's banged up. Yeah. AJ, what are your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys as a whole? It doesn't get easier. They got a tough schedule, too, going forward.
I mean, if their schedule is set up beautifully and you looked like they had a great schedule, you still wouldn't feel great about what they're doing and where they're going. I mean, for Big Mike and this whole staff, what do you do? Barring an absolute miracle, is there any chance that they're going to be there next year? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think so. And, depending upon who you listen to.
Oh, boy.
Because, it's not good. It's not good. Yeah. Eagles, great. Texans, great. Commanders, great. Giants, okay, we can breathe a little bit.
Here we go.
Bengals, by that point, might be hotter than any team in football, especially if Joey B continues to do what he's doing. And then don't look now, Bryce Young had a touchdown.
He did.
And the Panthers win.
Come back.
Played pretty well.
Causing a coach to be fired and players to potentially walk off. So whenever you talk about Dallas's upcoming opponents, it's like you're going to be without Dak. So is it Cooper Rush time? Is it Trey Lance time? What do the Cowboys look like offensively? What do they look like defensively? It's just like, it's not good. And people thought, with Dak Prescott getting his deal done, you think he would sign a deal, a long-term deal worth the amount he is, if he didn't know who the head coach was going to be or the offense? I guess the answer is yes. I guess the wonders about Mike McCarthy's contract not being re-upped are very loud and very real, especially if they continue to lose.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that, like they're going to be dogs in every single one of those games, but probably two. Like, and there's a difference between them just barely missing the playoffs, and I mean they could potentially go 5-12.
Yeah.
Like if that happened, I mean not even if they go 8-9, Big Mike's still probably getting fired, but 5-12, I feel like that's blow everything up.
According to ESPN Analytics, got this text from Hembo earlier, the Cowboys have a 6% chance to make the playoffs and a 5.2% chance to obtain a top 5 pick. So it's never, it's not even.
It's the worst scenario.
You at this 6%?
6%, but what does that mean?
Yeah, that's we were in this situation before. It's, all right, we just got to win out, take care of our business, and this happens, that happens. It's over. But what I do like for a player from the outside looking in, your highest paid players still playing hard. Obviously, Dak got hurt, but CD, he was clearly fighting through that shoulder thing. Trevon Diggs, he was dealing with something throughout the week. He came out and played. Outside of Zeke, Zeke, obviously wasn't there, went back there. He had some disciplinary issues, too old for that shit at this point in the season. Don't love that. But I do love that the guys are kind of still, fighting for the guys. For a player, I always look at how are the guys still playing out there for their guys and obviously their coaches.
Yeah, to your point about CD, who got paid before the season, he is currently suffering from a sprained AC joint, obviously in pain, choosing to play for Dallas Cowboys. And I think that's a good sentiment of the team. I think it's a good sentiment for everybody. They're still losing games. Now, the CD situation in Dak, got this stat from Hembo. There are 29 quarterback receiver combos with at least 50 attempts/targets this season. By QBR, Dak to CD ranks 26th out of those 29 combos. Ooh. Last season, they ranked 3rd. So Dak's going to be out for the next few weeks. But I guess what stats are saying is Dak and CD never really got going as they did last year. Is that a big piece of it? Maybe. Defense not being able to stop. Is that a part of it? Maybe. All the drama outside of it, is that a part of it? Maybe. The injuries, Trevon Diggs obviously hobbled yesterday. He gets beat early. Is that a part? There's just so many maybes into why they are currently in the predicament they are.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a little misleading because CD has still been pretty,
productive.
He hasn't had a great season by his standards, but he is all they have offensively. He is their entire offense. So, he's getting doubled on every single play. Teams know, okay, if it's not him this entire drive, guess what? They're not going to score, and they're probably not even going to be in position to use Aubrey for a 60-plus yard field goal attempt, which is what they were doing at the start of the season.
Fresh out of jury duty, he still has yet to miss during his court times. QBR ranks this season. Daniel Jones is 24th in the league, QBR. 25th, Dak Prescott. 26th, Jacoby Brissett. Okay, so,
wow. That is stunning.
That's from Hembo.
Holy shit.
Didn't help him out. Coming into this season. So to your point, CD is the only weapon. He's obviously the game record. The pick I showed last week with Lenore on that 3rd and 4, he was literally the only option on that passing play. So yeah, teams are going to key in. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, a team like Detroit, where there are so many weapons, I think the last 30 times Goff has targeted St. Brown, he's caught every one.
Yeah.
So because we can't just key in on, where's 14? Let's double, let's do this. So you got to have balance on offense.
Yeah, and speaking of balance, explosive plays are a massive piece of it, especially in the NFL these days. Dallas is minus 19 in explosive play ratio this season. Only the Browns, who are minus 31, have a worse margin. So,
yikes.
Sell a celebration out of a New England Patriot fan over there for not being a part of that. But it's everything is shit, seemingly, for the Dallas Cowboys. So maybe what Dak Prescott said on the sideline is accurate. And I don't know how you right the ship. What's Big Mike's message? What's Big Mike's message right now? Knowing that everybody seemingly knows that he's a lame duck coaching staff. That's kind of what Schefter said, I believe. I think somebody else.
It's hard to keep the team on your side when that's the case, I would imagine. Luckily, he's got these guys still fighting, like a guy like CD fighting through an AC sprain, which those are very painful, absolutely. Every single thing you're doing, every shot he's taking hurts. The fact that if you can just keep the team from completely imploding, that's a huge deal. Like, it's not a great spot. I don't think many coaches envy the position he is in, but they got to figure it out. There's a long season to go.
And now Cowboys fans don't want to hear this, and neither do sports media people who want to continue to pile on Dallas Cowboys, which we kind of just did there with some Hembo stats. Atlanta Falcons are a real deal.
Yeah, very good.
Atlanta Falcons are Kirk Cousins wins games.
5 of their last 6.
Raheem Morris is going to have a good defense. It's like the Atlanta Falcons are a good football team. I don't think Cowboys fans want to hear it. I don't think sports media people want to hear it whenever they talk about this particular game. But it's like the Atlanta Falcons are the fucking truth.
Yeah.
And that is not a conversation anybody is having.
Yeah, Zach Robinson has been dialed. This touchdown right here coming over man coverage bunch. It was just messy. He's wide open. Everybody's obviously going to point at Diggs. But Mooney has come over there and been an absolute weapon. Obviously, London, he got banged up. Both of those guys came into this game with over 500 yards. And then Kyle Pitts had the big game last week against the Bucs. You mentioned Algier, Bijan. Like, they got all the pieces on offense. Defensively, the pass rush was the big question coming in. They got after the passer in this game. Hopefully, they start to turn the tide on that side of things. But, yeah, Kirk Cousins, when he's protected, he can be one. He's shown over years he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Atlanta has the Saints next. Obviously, that's a massive rivalry. But with the Saints going through what the Saints are going through, I feel like the Atlanta Falcons arrow is going to continue to go up.
Look at the pockets, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, look at the pocket he's throwing from in a lot of these highlights. Like Kirk. Yeah, I mean, he feels very comfortable. Credit to the O-line, and obviously Dallas not able to get much rush. But, man, Kirk is going to absolutely pick you apart when that happens.
He got to like his fourth progression or fourth read on one of these plays, and was still. It looked like it was 7-on-7 for a couple of those plays. Which you have no Micah, so obviously that's going to be a part of the conversation. He's out with an injury, but still, the Atlanta Falcons made it happen. And I know it's hard to kind of slip into the sports media coverage whenever the Dallas Cowboys are imploding, not to do that. But like Falcons deserve a lot of credit from where they were a year ago. You know, quarterback is a big deal. That's why they paid $180 million for Kirk Cousins. First year head coach down there, new culture. They didn't hire Bill. What's this place doing? They drafted guy number 8 overall whenever they just paid a quarterback. It's like, it's working. I don't think any of them are worrying about shit down there in Atlanta right now.
Yeah, and like Kyle Pitts is having the best year of his career. Like, he had 2 touchdowns last week. I think he had another the week before. He's playing unbelievable. And then they are mixing it up like every single week. Someone else is killing the other team. Like Bijan, he didn't score, but he had like 140 total yards. Mooney, he's been scoring a lot. And then that touchdown you're talking about was the Ray McLeod one. It might be this one, where he goes all the way from the left, all the way to the right, wide open touchdown. Like, they are very, very good. And with what's going on with the Bucs, it feels almost as if like they're going to win this division. They're going to get a home playoff game. And now, who knows how far Kirk can take them. But the way he's playing, it's hard to imagine them being an easy out by any means.
Ho-hum, Kirk Cousins, 19-24, 222, 3 tuds. Yeah. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, Dallas Cowboys are imploding because we beat them. Maybe just give a little bit more respect to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I think is what is potentially a part of the combo.
And they're going to implode if they implode. If you put the Cowboys' schedule back up, I feel like I saw a lot of low prime time symbols right next.
The
to
whole
a lot of
world's
those
going to
games.
see.
So you're going not as many as I thought, but
they're going to be getting flexed out if they are.
That week 11.
So 1, 2, 3 more primetime games league.
Eagles is probably a 425er.
Yeah, so that's prime time, you could call it.
Jaden Daniels, week 18, Commanders, they might be resting.
They're probably.
Man, it's going to be tough.
Big Mike smashing the Microsoft
Surface.
Mm-hmm. Has anybody ever seen one of those in a wild, not on an NFL sideline?
No, that's probably why. That's probably why.
That's a great question.
He probably couldn't figure out how to
I don't
work.
think they make them for outside of NFL.
I mean, I appreciate
like
the marketing, and shout out to Microsoft for probably paying so much money for that to the NFL. So obviously the players and everybody does it. I don't know if it caught on like they thought it was good.
I don't think it did. I don't think it did.
I think
it's durable though.
Very durable. iPad is shattered.
Well, I don't know.
If you're doing
probably
that.
broke.
Yeah. Did you see they put a Tim Apple stat out? How much Apple was valued whenever he became CEO versus now? I think it's like 916% more or something like that. So Tim Apple,
Because he keeps slowing down our phones until we buy new ones.
That's
and guess what? It's working.
Yes.
I was gonna say he's pretty good.
I thought they got
this new one's real good, huh?
sued for that. But
I don't know. I just know mine.
Apple Intelligence. Everyone's going crazy about it.
Gumpy loves it, don't you, Gumpy?
Yeah, the 16. I actually have the 16 now. It's unbelievable. No issues at all.
Yeah, because you were battling there for a while.
I was in fucking hell, dude. I was losing my mind. I didn't know if texts were going out. I wasn't receiving shit. I couldn't handle
Yeah,
it.
Tim Apple didn't have any answers either. You call and there was no help.
Was he being sarcastic or does he actually like it?
I actually really
likes
like
it.
no issues with the new one.
He's been really
16.
celebrating it like
Do you use that thing I see in the commercial, the Apple Intelligence, where the guy can say something just terribly and then press professional and it makes it sound really good?
What is that?
Haven't seen
It's supposed to be like next level.
That sounds sweet.
What? So if you're a dipshit, this thing can make you sound smart?
Make you smart.
It'll clean it up, put your proper punctuation, make it sound like a nice thing.
Hey, tell him to go fucking get the old the bags from out front or something like that.
Yeah.
He goes, excuse me, how are you doing today? I hope everything is great. Is there a chance you could grab the bags from out front? Question mark.
Yeah.
Sign?
Pretty much.
That's the commercial. That's the commercial song.
Softening everything for you. That's good business.
Perfect
People
for
be-
emails.
Yeah, perfect for emails. Perfect for dealing with suits.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even imagine.
Is Apple Intelligent? Is that AI? Is that?
I believe so.
For sure.
Apple starts with an A.
When they got eye tracking on this shit and all type of shit.
Great.
Oh, okay.
The camera is the
Oh,
camera is
now they know
phenomenal.
where I'm looking.
The
sure.
facial identification to open your phone was really, that's when it all just ended.
Oh,
They
for
said,
sure.
you know what?
Yep.
Study everything about us. I don't want to have to punch in a code. Fucking let me look at this thing.
Scan me.
And when my glasses are on, I don't want to have to move my glasses.
Yeah.
Read through my glasses somehow.
It started with the fingerprint, too.
Oh, yeah.
When they still had the home button.
Everybody's fingerprint. Hey, we need all 10 fingers. Please roll them on the thing as well, please. Please, please. Thumb now. If you want this, need to go up, around, all the way down. Spit into the bottom, please.
Yep.
Get a little of your DNA.
How do they get your? Because I track my sleep now with my Apple. How do they get your like REM sleep? Is it like your
They
breathing
don't know.
pattern?
It goes off your heart rate, doesn't it?
Okay.
They don't know.
Hey,
I mean, that's mumbo jumbo.
I don't know, Ty.
They just want to know where you sleep, how long you sleep, when you're awake, where you're going.
We're in the Matrix. I mean, at this point.
I was just going to
we
say,
are.
does it matter?
You know it.
Brother.
We've been asleep for years.
With how much we fly?
How many years?
Centuries.
I don't know how old are you.
Centuries.
Oh, boy.
With how much flying happens during fall, I assume for you.
Yeah.
And you just look out and you're just above the clouds and there's, just fucking nothing there. It's hard not to just be like, what is all of this? And then you can't get too deep in there.
Oh, no.
Oh, buddy, you can get trapped. That's why I was so thankful that flight over to State College was supposed to be an hour and a half. Then it was 45, and then it was 37 or whatever it was. It's like, get me out of here with my thoughts. And if we're not going to have an air show, if we're not going to have a plane on the screen telling me where we're flying over, boy, you might as well put me in a capsule of my own thoughts, and I don't need to be doing that.
We were in Winnipeg on the way there.
Yeah.
Spot on.
So we thought maybe the reason why the airplane show thing on the TV that has the plane take off and then tracks it and shows where you're at. Like, Green Bay is 45 miles to your right now if you're to look. This is that. Like, that's kind of the air show is what they call it on TV. For some reason, a lot of these planes just don't. It just doesn't work. This is the first time I've ever seen. Plane was nowhere near where we were, but we didn't know if it was right or not.
Flat Earth map.
Because we were told an hour and 30, right? And then we're told 40 minutes or 50 minutes. And then we started watching this thing. This thing was flying into Canada. This plane in front of us was up in Detroit, up into Canada. And it was like, oh, this guy doesn't know we're flying to fucking Pennsylvania. I had to go up to the front. Where are we headed to? State College. I'm like, all right, the plane on TV is in Canada right now. And that could happen with us in the back there.
For sure.
You just kind of sit down. I'm fucking along for the ride.
I don't know.
You have no idea.
Can't fly this thing.
No.
Speaking of F-18s, they just circle State College. Like, what was that?
I don't know. I think
like Friday, Saturday. Like
I don't know.
Practice run.
Is there a base around there? It's out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why there would be a base in Pennsylvania.
I'm sure there's one in there.
They got to land somewhere, closest airport.
Yeah, Harrisburg, I think there is the airport that everybody flies in and out. There's an FBO up there in State College, but a lot of F-18s.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, pretty
It was sweet.
Pretty intense.
Did they ever fly in? Sorry, did you ever go look at them when they would fly into Green Bay and they do the flyovers? We'd go over to the airport and go get to check the planes out with the pilots.
So every once in a while, whenever we're taking off, the planes will be there and the pilots will say, what's up?
Oh, sweet.
Some of the modern technology is insane. Like, what was that one plane at Duke? It just fucking
the Harrier.
I think, is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Like Arnold. That's what Arnold was flying in True Lies.
Really?
Correct.
That's a long time ago.
Took
True
off.
Lies.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the
Long
one
time.
you have that you saw like at Duke is like the most updated one, but I think those like the air to ground support.
That thing was fun. That's UFO right there. The thing just takes off and then shoots out. It's like, I'm happy they're on our side. I am happy.
Yes.
Like those
Yeah, me too.
F-18s when they were flying over, how loud they were. I was like, holy shit. Happy they're on our team flying over there. But Pennsylvania, I think, is a pretty intense place right now. I think it's pretty intense.
Yeah, a lot of teams looking for big trades. Steelers and the Eagles.
That's right.
Bingo.
NFL trade deadline day tomorrow. Trade early.
Trade often.
Trade which I don't think is how it's supposed to go.
Well,
is that new?
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
We're pulling for you. Hey, you're going to win because you're the best human on earth. You need to know that. Your side's saving the world.
Yeah.
We appreciate you doing that. We appreciate you doing that. All right, let's make some picks for tonight's Monday Night Football game. The Chiefs favored by 9. D-Butch, you'll be the first to make your selection. Will D-Butch sway me and AJ? We shall see. Who do you like? How do you like it, D-Butch, on Monday Night Football?
You know what? Everything is lining up for the Chiefs to just mop the floor with the Bucs. And so for that reason, I'm going to go against that trend. Because usually in history, when I bet on the Chiefs to cover big spreads, they don't. They win, but they don't cover these big spreads, historically speaking. So I'm going to go with the Bucs to cover. Chiefs win.
Okay, D-Butch likes the Bucs to keep it within 9, even though the Chiefs get a dub. And I'll tell you what, I have some PTSD about betting on the Chiefs to cover as well. That's years ago, though, brother. This is a whole new Kansas City Chiefs. And remember, the Baltimore Ravens favored by a lot. Favored by a lot yesterday. How'd we feel? We felt great. We're going to bet on them. Chiefs, only undefeated team. Are they good enough to beat the Bucs by 9, AJ Hawk?
Man, 9 does seem like a lot. D-But definitely makes me want to think about waffling, but I'm taking the Chiefs here, -9. Maybe a cheap score at the end or a cheap field goal at the end gives them obviously they're going to win, but that's going to put the cover over as well.
Hey, is the Chiefs still the Chiefs?
Yeah, they might score 50 points tonight.
Hey, Ty, do you know if the Chiefs is still the Chiefs?
Yeah, I believe they are. Now they got DeAndre Hopkins, too.
Tone, is the Chiefs still the Chiefs?
The record suggests that they are.
Chiefs still the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Chiefs. Especially if.
She will be.
Are you ready for it? Boom, boom, boom. You should feel that. Boom, 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 boom.
She's got the DX music?
Dude. Did you see Dirty?
I did. Great performance.
That was a great performance. He even did the from Queen. That was pretty. Just to remind everybody where we were.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it all. Halloween was great this year.
It was.
I learned a lot about a lot.
Well, Dirty's quarterback.
What's that?
Dirty's quarterback. He had a good costume.
Matthew Stafford and his wife Kelly did dress up as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, which immediately led to a massive win over the Seattle Seahawks.
Unbelievable.
In
Stafford.
Seattle. Is Seattle still a home field advantage?
No.
I don't like bringing up negative stuff because we don't talk
Matthew
about
Stafford dressed up as who?
Dressed up as Travis Kelce. Kelly Stafford was Taylor Swift. The kids, I believe, were Swifties. And what happened immediately afterwards, you see, win in the division in Seattle.
Nice.
That is kind of how it works. You know, Pavlov's dogs. This happens, then this happens. Travis and Taylor, this happens. 103-yard pick in the fourth quarter. Geno Smith, who had been playing a great game, gives up a long pick 6. Look at the white hat getting a chance to travel a little bit. It'd be 20-13. The Rams take the lead. But, oh, no! Blocked punt in the fourth quarter. Dahn 7. Ethan Evans, who's an absolute dog, gets his punt blocked because of a little bit of a blocking mishap. Geno Smith has a chance to tie it. Nope, another pick in the fourth quarter, 20-13. How's it going to go? Well, Geno's going to get another opportunity to tie it up. What's he do? Jackson Smith and Jigba in an absolute bucket takes a big shot. 55 seconds left. What are you going to do with it? Touchdown, Jackson Smith and Jigba takes another massive shot. Game tied. Let's go to overtime. 4th and 1 in field goal range. Decide to go for it. The Rams defense says, I don't think so. Matthew Stafford, who dressed up like Travis Kelce just a few days before this, gets the luck of the football gods as he throws into triple coverage for a reception. And then what are you going to do with it, Matty? Strike! Just matriculating down the field. Field goal would win it. All you need to be is in field goal range. Matt says, I don't want 3. I want 7. Demarcus Robinson, one-handed catch. Rams get a massive NFC West dub in Seattle. What a game.
Well done.
Nasty.
That NFC West is wide ass open. Arizona Cardinals are in the lead, but everybody's 5-4, 4-4, 4-4, 4-3, 3-4. You get it. Everybody's in it, and this is a big one. And now Seattle goes back-to-back weeks losing at home. I don't want to start saying negative stuff about the Seattle Seahawks home field advantage, but it seems like people are walking into your trap and taking over your trap. You need to stop that trap. You need to stop that. NFC West, no cap. That's a real deal over there, AJ.
Yeah, I mean, you knew when they didn't get that fourth down, like, come on now. You can't give Stafford the ball back when all he needs is a field goal to win the thing, and then he does it and just puts on a show, and what an unbelievable catch, one-hander there to end that thing.
I can't believe you get a punt blocked in the fourth quarter and still win.
Yeah.
That is very abnormal.
What are the odds of winning? Yeah, you go check the odds of what normally happens when that.
But then
you get a punt block.
Then 2 picks in the fourth quarter probably
Sways it a bit.
There's probably one of those. And it feels like Geno and the Seattle Seahawks team have the ability, like for one reason or another, just not getting those dubs. And then don't look now, the Rams.
It's the red area.
Turn around.
DeMarcus Robinson right there. Puka, obviously. Cooper Kupp not getting traded, right?
He had 11 catches yesterday.
Kyron Williams is good.
Rams, real deal. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry.
No, real deal. But you can't turn the ball over in the red area. Too many turnovers for Geno in Seattle in the red area. But yeah, those guys, Robinson stepping up when Puka went down. Probably a little blessing in disguise for the Rams. Obviously, Puka was coming into this game with an injury, dealing with that PCL, I believe. So he pretty much gets damn near a whole game off again. He'll be back. We expect full speed. Didn't love this ejection either. Understand the punch to the head or whatever. Didn't love that.
If you're going to get ejected, we need an uppercut at least out of this Puka.
Yeah.
Don't do it at all.
Never again.
Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all.
But Cooper Kupp, man, he showed up big time. So I'm excited to see how they finish this season. And Kyler's playing some of his best football in Arizona right now. So yeah, that division is wide open. Probably only be one team out of that division to make the playoffs. So we don't know who that'll be yet.
Yeah, they're scrapping for it. They're scrapping for that spot. Did you hear Coach Gannon of the Arizona Cardinals talk about the locker room and the leader saying, we don't take no bullshit in here? I love it. He obviously, firing the tummy and the bus and everything.
Yep.
He's seemingly defensive Sirianni over there in Arizona. His culture has settled in. We saw it last year with how hard they were playing without Kyler Murray and how good they were in. Now you got Kyler playing your best ball, defense flying around. Is this the Arizona Cardinals year that everybody's been hoping for Kyler? Now, I don't know if anybody's saying Arizona Cardinals win the Super Bowl, but they win a playoff game or two. Holy shit, are you excited about the Cardinals' future over there in beautiful Phoenix?
Well, I know Buddha was all over the field, and I love hearing when your head coach is there, like, praising the vets, and not even just the vets and the captains. He said, like, it trickles down through the whole team, and that shows you, like, I feel like they got a good thing going there. And the Bears, on the other hand, I'm not sure. They seem to be reeling a bit. I bet Zito is struggling to try to figure out what the rest of the season looks like for them.
Yeah, Zito's in the middle of one right
I just saw. I didn't see this yesterday. I just saw that DJ Moore just walked off the field in the middle of a play.
Yeah, I did see that.
Well,
okay, and
he injured his foot there.
Yeah, and then he gave his interview.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Caleb playing late, got injured. He had to answer those questions after the game.
Tweaked his ankle.
okay. So, yeah, there's a lot up there in Chicago. NFC North's really good. NFC North's very good. This probably isn't going to be the year for the Bears.
No.
Okay? It's probably not going to be the year for the Bears. People are saying, is this the last year for Eberflus, though? That's getting very loud. And I don't know if it's because of the rest of the NFC North being so good. It's like we have to keep up with everybody. If it's because of what people think Caleb Williams could be, if they think it's because of what the roster is supposed to be at this moment. Like, I don't know the exact reasoning, but I do know that Schefter pointing out plays that are happening that make the defensive coach look stupid, and then the head coach is the defensive coach. It's like that doesn't help the issue at all.
Not good.
He goes, how about the run before half? Did you see this shit? I've never hit. That's what Schefter said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Schefter's like, the Hail Mary. Okay, let's get over the Hail Mary. I was 29's checked out. Did you see the run? It's like the longest run in the history of the end of the half, or yada, yada, yada. And it is, as you look at it, it's like, holy shit. This looks like a JV team playing against a varsity team. This is one of those 96-0 high school football games type plays that you hear about. And it's like, that's only going to grow the noise around Eberflus and his team.
Yeah, very, very deflating to have back-to-back weeks where you have these type of plays that happen right before the half. And then who knows what's going on behind the scenes. Obviously, we heard about the, Tyreek Stevenson benching and him not taking it well, and other players maybe, not really fully behind their head coach, especially when you're talking about star franchise type
We don't
players.
like that.
Don't love that once it hits the media. But to Zito's point, they are still 4-4. And we know how we feel about the 4+ win teams going forward. So
Bill Belichick said it.
Still got a shot.
Well, different division, but yeah.
Bill Belichick said it. 4 wins and more, you're good. Titans just got a big win.
Yeah, plus the Bears got the Patriots this week, so it's going to be a fucking gritty battle.
Drake is going to be. Drake's a dog, dude.
He's so good. It is awesome. Like, that's the only thing that you're looking for when your team isn't good. Like, do we have a quarterback? And the answer is yes. So that means we got a fucking chance.
We got 2 quarterbacks in Indianapolis. Obviously, it feels like Drake is definitely quarterback of the future for the New England Patriots. He runs hard. And he was asked if he's going to stop doing that or whatever.
It's like, no, I'm not a fucking bitch. I'm going to play my game, okay? That's what I'm going to do. And also, he did slide later on, which I love to watch.
Hey, you got to slide whenever you got to slide, but it feels like a part of his game is his running.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
I don't love whenever that's the automatic take. Like, hey, we got to take this part of the game away because there's a chance it's injured. It's like, well, do you think the reason why this motherfucker's so good is because this part of the game is a part of the whole thing? Like, got to be able to keep that, got to play safe. But Drake May getting a concussion this early, I don't love.
No.
I don't love that he's already got one on the books. Don't love that.
Awkward hit, for sure. I mean, the concussion thing is definitely in the forefront just because of all the Tua stuff, and, you get worried about things like that. But he's so fucking big. Like, Tua, definitely a good size, but Drake May's 6'4", 225. Like, I'm not completely concerned about the concussions going forward. Look at that. Oh, stick move. How you doing? How many quarterbacks doing that? Tell you that much. And then he gets it off. But no.
And then what? Touchdown.
Touchdown. Let's go to overtime. Should have gone for 2. That's a different conversation. Who cares?
0 time, 0 seconds left on the clock. Maybe Drake was tired. Maybe say he didn't want to go for 2.
No, he doesn't get tired. He actually brought that up. He's like, I've never been tired in my life. So I could have run a marathon after this game. It doesn't matter.
No, he realized, he said, let's get this thing to overtime. Okay, they're going to score a field goal, and then we're going to protect the draft pick. He's looking ahead.
Yeah, I like that Drake May's thinking from an organizational standpoint. But Titans get a big-time win. Congrats to the Titans getting a chance to celebrate down there in Nashville. That's a great city. That's a great city. Panthers beat the Saints, fire their coach because of it. How do you feel, AJ?
Man, I mean, both these teams I'm struggling with. And what is New Orleans going to do? I know with Derek Carr's situation and all the different people are tweeting and asking about it, like what does the rest of their season look like? I try to put myself in these guys' shoes and like, okay, you come in and day out. I guess you just kind of put your blinders on and just go to work, don't you? Take it one day at a time.
I guess you have to. Chuba Hubbard, obviously, Bryce Young looks good. I saw him smiling and doing this after the game. That had to feel so good. Congrats to Bryce. We're happy for you.
Yeah.
Congrats to Bryce Young. We're happy for you getting that done after being benched, coming back on, having some success. Him and Canales, big dap, big hug. We did it. Maybe Tepper, huh? Maybe Tepper says, let's continue to let this build. Let's continue to let it go, especially after all the money he donated to Western North Carolina, which we are very grateful for and appreciative of him doing that for the good of society. But the Saints, what's going on with Derek Carr? So
stinks.
So everyone hates him. Yeah,
it feels like everyone hates
all
him.
the family.
What's that all about? What is? It always got real loud yesterday.
By multiple different.
Very quickly.
Yeah,
it got real loud very quick. I learned a lot about Derek Carr, like in a matter of just like Michael Thomas, obviously former teammate. Derek Carr came out and said, after all of my teammates that I've had, Michael Thomas and I just never been able to get on the same page. He said, I tried to reach out, talk to him. I've never heard, like, Derek Carr knows he and Michael Thomas aren't in a good spot. But, like, the tweets he put out, and then Chris Olave's brother was putting out some, like, hey, man, what Mike saying? And it's like, I don't think I've heard that much. That was a wild turn of events. Like, it was a pretty crazy day. Obviously, you lose to the Panthers, this type of thing. Code red, seemingly, SOS. But Derek Carr, he had to answer questions about, hey, did you just try to fucking throw this guy into a concussion? Or, hey, no, ex-teammates fucking hate you. You know that? How do you lose to the Panthers? Like, that is, I guess that's the job of a starting quarterback, but it's like, that had to be one of the worst days for Derek Carr's name that I've ever seen. Legit. Just like that.
Post-game, think about that. Post-game, you lose to the Panthers, and you have to answer questions about former teammates talking about you. Yeah, it can't feel good. I don't know where you go from here.
Yeah, I don't. Coach Darren Riz, special teams coordinator, now interim head coach.
All right, what was up?
He's friend of the program.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, he came on right to talk about the whole new kickoff situation.
Yeah,
that was him.
He's a dog.
Yeah,
special teams people have had to talk. Our special teams coordinator has to talk to the whole team anyways. Sorry, you got a good pulse of the team. He understands what they're looking for. Don't lose to the Panthers.
Yeah, I hope he doubles as a quarterback coach because they're going to need that too.
Why?
Because Derek Carr stinks. I mean, to add insult to injury, right after the game comes out, hey, you want to know who fucking losing his quarterback of all time is? Well, that's either Derek Carr or David Carr, depending on what season of their career it is.
Don't forget Archie.
Well, Archie, yeah. I mean,
he was with the Aints.
Yeah, exactly.
He had no chance.
Yeah, he ain't. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad day for Derek Carr.
It was.
And the Carr family as a whole, I guess. But if I know Derek Carr, He's going to fucking hop right back on that saddle, and he's going to give it all he's got this upcoming week.
Without a doubt.
They're playing the Atlanta Falcons. It's a big-time game down in New Orleans,
They're gonna
obviously.
get the bump.
Huh?
They're going to get the interim bump.
Exactly. Should we take that into consideration here?
We should.
No.
Is Olave playing?
What do you mean no?
Probably not.
Oh, no, because he damn near killed him last week. So
There's so much bad juju on that
Oh
team.
my
Cam Jordan won't even walk into the fucking locker room.
He wanted to
dude.
walk out of the building with his uniform on. And then he puts, sweet, we just lost to the Panthers.
But we should take it into. I mean, Jeff Saturday got to win. So
Cam's leaving the stadium right there. Leave the locker room's this way, towards me. He said, I can't even fucking look at this team.
is Derek driving him?
Derek saying, hey.
Cam, come on, man.
Come on. Can you stop filming, please? I got him.
Gave us some good X after, for sure.
Oh, yeah, the whole team.
Current players, some of the Panthers players, like, hold on, man. We have the same record. Motherfucker, like, too much y'all lost to us. Y'all stink, too.
Yeah. There was, they got the Atlanta Falcons coming up. Kirk Cousins buzzing.
Yeah, you think
I mean, they're going to trade all their good players this week. The Falcons are going to fuck them.
This is the second time that Derek Carr has gotten Dennis Allen fired mid-season, both times.
Oh, my God. See, it just keeps getting worse. For
Dennis
this guy.
Allen might have gotten Dennis Allen fired too.
Dennis Allen said he loves New Orleans, very thankful for it. And so I think Dennis Allen probably knew what was going on.
They hate him in New Orleans.
He didn't win a lot of games. And he followed Sean Payton. Sean Payton, if you watch, whenever they played Thursday Night Football, I think, whenever he went back to New Orleans and did all this shit, it's like Sean Payton brought a lot to that city in a time in which they needed it and won. And then he obviously retires on like a Tuesday in the offseason. This guy becomes head coach. Now you're immediately getting judged off of the Sean Payton era. And I know they get along and everything like that, but it has not gone that way. It has not gone well at all. They're up against it salary cap wise. Team, who knows what's going to be left of it when it gets in there. Who's going to want this gig? Is like the next question. I'm excited to see who they think it'll be that'll be able to turn it all around. Schefter said earlier, the head coach got fired. That's probably like the first, because then you start thinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the
Mickey Loomis,
the barn animal up there at the press conference. It's like, that's kind of what Schefter was like. There's going to be more changes. There's going to be more changes. Everybody down there is probably
the early connect the dots I've seen is Aaron Glenn because he coached there for like 5 years. So that was the early, go from the Lions to try to rescue the Saints.
The Lions without Branch and Aiden Hutchinson yesterday dominate the Green Bay Packers. There's a lot to be said about that Lions defense over there.
Defense is playing so good. We actually haven't even talked about it all day, but they got so many stops. And obviously, the offense always capitalizes, but really, the defense won that game.
Yeah, and continue to.
100%.
And Jack Fox, obviously, dog.
So good. And Bates has been great, too. So far, at least.
Aaron Glenn couldn't even see.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Glasses were covered in water.
That rain. Normally cameras modern day can't see the rain. So it's not until they do the alternate shots that you really know. Yeah. I mean, it's
awesome.
It was coming down over there in Lambeau. And somehow the team that hadn't played outside yet handled the conditions better than everybody else.
And they play so hard. Like that Brian Branch hit, the 15 yards, I get it, but I don't care about that because they're going to be doing that all season long.
We crowned a Super Bowl champion fucking 3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Like, they're great right now. I get it. Okay.
Can we?
We could. Listen, I'm happy for Foxy. I'm happy for Lions fans. I'm just saying, like, a lot of football left to be played, okay?
That's what Colts fans are saying, too.
Yeah, well, I'm realistic about where
Are
we're
they?
going to be going. I don't know if you are.
What are you talking about?
Although,
I don't know if you
mentioned it.
are.
You mentioned it. Fucking AR learned his lesson. All right, he learned his lesson. Let's get him back out there. Let's get him some reps. Let's get him some meaningful reps.
I am bummed out that our team, I guess, is not good enough to go win. That's what I learned.
Do we think Flacco was just tuckered out because of daylight savings time?
God, dude, I'll tell you, an early morning.
No, it's deep.
Good point.
Everything you guys said about, the wake up. Last year, daylight savings fallback. Mackenzie just slept an extra hour. She didn't even, I don't even know how. It was like a magic trick. It was, because everybody was saying, like, just wait, sleep schedule. It's a problem. Turning out you're going to be. Last year, she slept right through it. It was fucking sweet. It was like, that's my girl.
Mm-hmm.
This time, she woke up early by her standards, let alone the hour difference. I mean, it was early Sunday morning with Mackenzie in there. And maybe that was what it was. Maybe Flack had to deal with that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Parenting. Yeah, real life. He gets another
5
week.
kids.
Gets the Bills. It's got the Bills coming up.
All the kids.
You can pound the rock against the Bills.
Well, can we? Can
Yeah,
we
you
run the
can.
ball? We weren't able to run the ball last night. I thought we were going to be able to do that at number one offensive line in the entire league. It's all right. We got to think about the future and the present.
Yep. That's why you put it. Yeah.
I'm not giving up 100% hoping at all, but I did think our team was going to go out and do something there.
Texans got the Lions this week. I mean, the AFC South is still right there.
I know, but
AFC South.
Just watch the
I
Chiefs tonight.
believe in Joe Flacco.
Joe didn't play great, but Anthony Richardson would have been demolished out there.
Yeah, well,
he would have been eaten alive.
And maybe they told him not to play, so it wasn't, a
True
bloodbath for Anthony Richardson.
Hey, you're gonna watch Chiefs tonight and realize, like, oh yeah, there's like 4 teams that can win.
Flacco may have been doing him a solid, too. Like, before he jogged out there, like, watch this, dude. I'm going to throw a fucking lollipop right to the other team. I'm going to make you look good, all right? You ready to fucking go next week, though. I'm not going to, look
Being
like shit
the
tonight.
veteran guy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is what we've been
Confidence
looking
back
for.
up. Right.
Leader.
Because you're going to get those games from Flacco. I mean, we remember the interceptions he threw in the playoffs last year. 3 of the worst passes in the history of the
Did
NFL.
get him there, though.
He did,
get him to the
exactly. He's
playoffs.
going to get you there, and he's going to have some of the best games ever, and then he's going to, some of the picks.
Joe's going to Joe.
No, but
he's
this happened now
That's
instead
tough.
of over the next few weeks.
Exactly. He's been a good teammate.
I still think AR has a great opportunity here to continue developing off the field.
Absolutely.
Which I think has to happen from what it seems like, from everything that's been talked about.
Yeah. And it seems he's in good spirits. So that's what matters. We all know it's not about what happens to you. It's about
He was the
how you
last guy
respond
off
to
the
it.
field at half. He was
Yeah.
shaking, slapping everybody's hands.
Slap it.
I like that.
Does
I like
it
that.
every
Slap
week.
hands. Slap hands.
That's a good man.
Every
That's a
week.
good man.
Sorry,
a lot of talent.
And these vet quarterbacks, like Ty said, like they're gonna be who they're gonna turn back into a pumpkin. Like just
But I thought our fucking
this week
team
did it
was
too.
good. I thought our team was good.
They blow. Okay. Let's
Why
just
are
see
you-
our
That's a
defense,
that's
they're
a
not
tough
good.
bar, dude. Vikings almost beat the Lions in
Dude,
that
the Vikings
bar.
are very good.
Yeah.
That's like the constant battle here that I'm having. Like, they're very good, but I think we're good too. Like, I think our team was good. They did not play good. It was just one Sunday night, though. Still got a lot of teams left. A lot of games left.
Prove you're good by going out and beating the Bills.
That's right. And that's what Joe leave in Joe
Where is
Flacco.
it? Is it Buffalo or Indianapolis?
Doesn't matter.
Indy at home getting 5.
Lighthouse.
Put AR.
We're getting 5.
Yes, sir.
Holy shit, super dog. Give me the Indianapolis Colts. Getting 5 at home. 1 o'clock game because every other game other than this past weekend's game is a 1 o'clock game for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. In the Lighthouse? Okay. Okay. We'll see, Josh. We'll see.
Gus Bradley's
see.
going to be in his bag against Josh Allen.
He was against the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, he had him. Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, Eaton down there. Kenny Moore, scoop, score, gritty. Love that. All right, let's get the hell out of here. AJ and I are on the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
D-Butch, you're on the...
Bucs covering.
All right, let's get to these overreactions and then let's get the fuck out of here. Became the number 1 trend in the United States of America. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But is the bird call that we put out. And all we ask is for NFL fans from the entire league to get onto the X app. Go ahead and do a little therapy in one post and just make sure in it you utilize the hashtag I don't want to overreact. But Ty scrolls through there, and obviously we can't thank everybody enough for being a part of it. It is funny. It is a good time. Ty scrolls through and picks his favorites. How many this week, Ty?
I think there's like 2 from The Office and then maybe 6 from the internet.
All right, let's roll through these. This is from D-Butch. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But the Chargers. My Chargers might be legit championship contenders this year. Justin Herbert just needs a head coach and a legit defense on the other side. No true number 1 wide receiver, and Herbo is playing some of the best ball of his career. DC Jesse Minter has the number 1 scoring defense in the NFL at the halfway mark. All the way in on the Chargers. Hashtag bold up.
Hell yeah.
Big time win, obviously, against Cleveland Browns. Jim Harbaugh was supposed to have a one-on-one interview with J.J. Watt for the CBS Morning Show. He brought the strength coach and 3 dudes from the D-line. Bosa, Khalil Mack, and then the tackle who also acts as the fullback with the red hair.
Matlock.
Matlock. He brought supposed to be a one-on-one interview. He brings the entire team. They start telling stories. Harbaugh is a team builder. That is legitimately what he is. And that team is all the way in if you listen to that interview. James, 3 picks. Chargers defense.
Said he was going to throw 3 picks.
Say you don't have a number 1. Quentin Johnston who's even rolling one.
Hey, Quentin,
Josh Palmer,
Blatt, Josh Palmer. You keep J.K. healthy. Obviously, that's hardball football. So you got a real Herbo finally got a real head coach. He's the reason I kind of became a fan of this team. He's playing some of the best football of his career after, all the question marks about his weapons coming into this season. And then Jesse Minter coming over from the college level, and obviously he has some NFL experience as well. But coming up from the college level, we saw firsthand that Michigan defense. So to bring that discipline and have the number one scoring defense, I know they haven't played a bunch of world beaters. They haven't beat great teams yet. But to have the number one scoring defense at this point in the season, as this season continues to go, run game defense, you know what it's about. And then if you got a quarterback, you always got a chance. Hardball, we expected, at least a playoff appearance maybe this year with his first year being the head coach of the Chargers. I'm all the way in on these guys. Okay. All the way in. So this is what? 2 teams of mine.
Eagles and Chargers on their way up
Eagles
for
and Chargers this way. And my real teams, that's in my heart, Colts and Dolphins, kind of going the other way right now. So I'm in a good spot.
Dolphins' percentage to make it is dropping by the week, especially if guys are going to hit 61-yard game winners against them. Indianapolis Colts, a lot of football left, so don't lose hope just yet, D-Butch. But this Chargers team, I think, Harbaugh's won everywhere. And I think Bosa said that during the interview. He's like, this guy has won literally everywhere he's ever been, and it's pretty clear and evident on why. And then Matlock, was that his name?
Yeah.
Matlock started, he told a story. He said, I got them all written down, all the Harbaugh-isms. He's writing them down for it all. He said that there was a conversation about a jar of olives. He said, at one point you're talking about a team, and then he's bringing up a jar of olives, and then we're off to another one. And JJ is like, I'd like to hear the jar of olives. And he goes to Harbaugh, and he goes, Harbaugh goes, you ever buy a jar of olives? They're packed in there so tight. You open it, you flip it over, like even the juice doesn't come out. And to get one, you gotta really get it out of there. And he said, it's like our turnovers. We don't have enough turnover. And JJ was like, but once one comes, and Jim's like, exactly, yeah, that is. And it's like every day, I guess Harbaugh has one of these for the team. They love it. They're intrigued by it. The metaphor's real. And every one of them smiled when they were talking about Jim Harbaugh. It's like, that's conducive, I think, to winning. I think that's a big deal. Somebody that can cultivate an environment where everybody's all in, and you obviously have the talent. It's like, why not the Chargers, AJ?
Well, he empowers his players. I think the best coaches do that. And D-Butt hit it. Like, they have the number one scoring defense in the NFL. If you have the number one scoring defense, that's, to me, that's the number. That's what matters the most. How many points do you give up? I don't care about yards. I don't care about all this stuff. How many times do you let them in the end zone? And the Chargers are doing a great job of that right now.
You give Justin Herbert the number one scoring defense, it's like, hold the phone. Can they get it done? J.K. Dobbins dancing in the end zone. It's fun to watch him, man.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's so fun to watch.
So good.
I don't think it's an overreaction, D, but I think you're in a good spot. Let's go to the next one here, shall we? From Bruce Brown. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Giants don't deserve an overreaction. They are inconsequential, irrelevant, and insignificant. Last week, Saquon comes back and runs all over us. This week, the Commies roll in at 6-2 and leave 7-2 with little contest. Shane's draft picks are all non or negative factors. The Who Cares Bowl in Germany is going to set the league back years internationally. That's right. We got the Giants and the Panthers in Munich, Germany on Sunday. Wow. Shout out to the Giants for representing our league over there.
Thank you, Giants.
Must lose in Germany. I can live with going 700 days at MetLife Stadium without a touchdown. What I can't deal with is our secondary just letting the Commies run wherever they want without a guy within 25 yards of them. Deontay Banks, I think we drafted him first or second round. He's loafing around, not trying to get in on tackles. It's abysmal, man. I don't know how much lower we can go here, but we're trying to go as far south as possible before turning this thing around.
Jaden goes 15-22 for 209 yards and 2 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin had 2 tuds. Eckler has another touchdown. He rushes, obviously, all over the Giants. Good for the Commanders, though, huh? It's fun.
They're nasty.
That's fun. Fun.
Yeah, they're so good. You put out a tweet, and I had the exact same thought. I think it was 4th down.
First and 10, first and goal with 11 seconds left.
Yeah.
No timeouts. And the question was, hey, he cannot take a sack right here. There cannot be any flubs. They're in field goal range. There's not enough time. I don't know if it was first and goal, but it was first down. and with 11 seconds, no timeout left, and they send Jaden Daniels out there with a full play. This isn't like we're going to try to milk it down to get last play for a field goal. He throws a touchdown.
Yep.
He actually throws a touchdown on that exact play. It's like the confidence they have in him is that they know he's going to make the right decision. They know that he's not going to make a rookie mistake and get sacked and kind of take points off the board. He's like a 45-year-old vet. You just expect him to play well. You expect him to make the right decision, and that's how Cliff Kingsbury feels about it as well. It's very evident. You want to talk about a culture shift. Damn.
Yeah.
Just like the Houston Texans did.
Yep.
You get a head coach and a quarterback that can flip everything. Now you get a head coach, quarterback, OC, and a team all the way bought in, new ownership. It's like Commanders turning around quickly. They were an abysmal pit of hell.
Mm-hmm.
On the field, off the field, in the building,
Big
out of the
time.
building.
Big time.
Big time. And now it's like, you got the future. And it's because your quarterback can fucking spin it. He is phenomenal at ball.
Yeah, and like remember they made those moves too, where they brought in like basketball. Who is it? Adam Peters? What that guy's
Bob
name?
Myers.
Bob Myers, yeah, whatever it is. And everyone, like, at least I thought, like, what the hell are they doing?
Warriors old GM.
Yeah, the Warriors
Adam
old
Peters is
GM.
their
Yeah,
GM, I think.
Peters is GM from Patriots. Bob Myers, former Warriors GM.
there it is. Yeah, and it just didn't make much sense. And obviously, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks because they did everything right. Like all the guys they brought in, I forget they had like 10 free agents. Obviously, Eckler's one of them. Allegretti, Bobby Wagner on defense. Like everybody they brought in is playing so well. And then obviously, when you get the draft pick right, you see what happens. They're about to win the division in the NFC East, and we're still talking about how good the Eagles are. It's like Commanders are probably better than them right now.
Congrats to the Commanders and to their fans who've been around a long time, way back. Had one of those on game day.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Jason Kelce.
Yep.
Talked about an old kicker.
Mm-hmm.
Mosley, who's a straight-on kicker.
Probably played against that team a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
The Commanders.
Yep.
Let's go to the next overreaction. I don't think that's an overreaction there from you, Bruce. At You Hate Me. We love you. We love you. Hashtag I don't want to overreact. But finally, Dennis Allen is fired. It took losing to the damn Panthers for Mrs. Gale to push the red button. Derek Carr, you're next. No, go get Gruden or Ben Johnson and start rebuilding. Thank you for fixing the defense, Dennis, but rest in piss.
Come on.
How many Saints overreactions were there, Todd?
Well, there were a bunch of good ones, and then he got fired, and then I was like, all right, I got to refresh now and see someone kind of just let it all out. And I thought, anytime you get a chance to kind of deliver a really good rest and piss,
Yeah.
kind of got to go with it.
Dennis Allen said he loved New Orleans and the city and everything like that.
Yeah.
Seems like the fans potentially were okay. They love him back. We want to win again as well.
Yeah.
He said, at least old buddy, You Hate Me, said thanks for the defense. I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Did say thank you in their
I mean, it kind of cancels it out when you end it with rest and piss. But
Well, that's kind of the sandwich thing. You
very
lead
creative.
off with something and you sneak something in there. This one was a positive, and then you come back with the rest of it. Just to let you know what this sandwich is.
Exactly.
It's a negative sandwich, but we got you here.
Yep.
Thank you. And boom, we're coming right back in there. At You Hate Me. Seems like you hate Dennis Allen. Let's
And
go to the
Derek
next
Carr.
one. And Derek Carr.
Yeah.
You're next. Matt Massey at Based Massey. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Nick Sirianni should be used as a blood sacrifice in front of the Rocky statue so that we may finally have a competent head coach again. I'm tired of seeing this dog shit idiot passing up 3 points and going for 2 every opportunity he can get. The roster is way too talented to have some shaved head baboon think he's smarter than everyone else and nearly throw every game. Jeffrey Lurie, please take Sirianni out back and give him the old Yeller treatment. Hashtag fly, Eagles fly. He is a dog, self-admitted.
Yeah.
Old Yeller was a dog as well. I didn't know that Sirianni was still getting this type of heat, but then whenever the Jaguars almost come back and win that thing, on Saquon Barkley 180 hop up over your face day, that would have been a massive blow to the Sirianni regime, AJ Hawk.
yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Sirianni wins the game. I understand he didn't manage it like everyone wants him to, but you win the game and you still get these kind of reactions. It's a tough place to coach and play. Obviously in Philly, they got some passionate fans, and I give them credit. They're very creative as well. This is
very,
a lot.
very creative. I appreciate their creativity in exploring the space of hashtag I don't want to overreact. But is this how they all? Is there a lot of this?
Yeah, quite a few of these. Once again, and then it doesn't help. Dan Orlovsky said this morning on Get Up, basically like, "Hey, of every team that could make a run in the playoffs, like this is the only team I don't trust the head coach to not do something fucking stupid." So, they kind of just
he doesn't like points.
He's 40.
Kick a fucking field goal.
It's 40-19.
Second winningest percentage, I think, of active coaches right now. Like, it's crazy. Obviously, it's not always pretty, and we saw the fall off last season, which we know football really matters, around Thanksgiving, post-Halloween, whatever. But, like, it's wild. Obviously, it's a tough crowd. They fired a couple coaches who won Super Bowls, but, I mean, damn.
But, like, to Jake's point, too, what he just said, like, if you're the field goal kicker or if you're holding for Jake Elliott and you got a couple 40-yard opportunities and he decides, you know what, let's go for this thing. And then at 57, with basically the game on the line, he's like, go fucking hit this, Jake. Like, what is the thought genuinely from
Jake Elliott's a dog, so you would hope that Jake Elliott would handle it, but it's like all those decisions, I think the entire team knows he's going to make them. Like and then that led to a lot of people's point. It's like the team knows that the coach is going to make a bad decision.
Yeah.
Like it seemingly never. Keep winning over there, Philly.
That's right.
Keep winning over there. High football IQ fan base. So they're going to judge everything and they want to win right now. Let's go to the next overreaction challenge. This is from F Bart 131. Fucking F Bart. This guy loves ball. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but season's fucking over. Fire Eberflus, fire Waldron, cut Stevenson, and start the fuck over for the millionth time. Hire Ben Johnson and find some O-linemen that can actually block someone. Fuck, says F. Bart. Zito, is this how everybody feels up in Chicago? Are you guys all F. Barting around up there?
Yeah, unfortunately it is. There are a lot of pitchforks going to Hell's Hall today.
Oh, jeez. Get this guy out of here. His cool hair, great beard. Guy can't coach shit.
I will say, though, Stevenson did have prevented 2 touchdowns, too, by the way.
Hey, way to bounce back, Stevenson. Boy. Took himself out of practice, allegedly, last week. Still showed up to play. That's good mental toughness, knowing that you just got embarrassed in front of the whole world. Happy he's back on track. But to be clear, I'm not 100% sure what the Bears should do. No idea. You get a new offense in there for Caleb. That's the second offense in 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, third offense in 3 years if you go back to college in this entire thing. So that's obviously starting a roller coaster or a carnival ride.
We've done that to 3 quarterbacks before as well.
Yeah. So, but
crazy.
do you want to have patience with something that isn't good either? So it's like, that's a tough spot.
And like players have talked about, Waldron before as far as offensive play calling goes. Like there's that Jackson Smith and Jigba clip from the Super Bowl this past year. And so like, who knows?
Hey, what are your thoughts on Shane Waldron's office? Are we live?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Everyone's saying Ben Johnson, but what about Cliff? Like, you already had him, right? So, like...
Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach?
Yeah.
Oh, because he had
we
Caleb.
coached Caleb, USC, right?
So you're not really changing the playbook much because it's kind of similar.
Yeah,
right?
he was miserable at the end of his time in Arizona. He might be pretty happy just being the OC.
Yeah, depending upon what the money is going to be. In Chicago, not allowed to swear, not allowed to, right? Isn't there a lot of...
It's pretty buttoned up.
I think Arizona was similar, right? When can't do this, can't do that.
I'm sure Cliff would be open to it. I'm sure Cliff's open to another head coaching gig.
In the offense.
You think so?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Because there's only 32 of them, especially Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears are a storied franchise.
They're all in.
Most all coaches want to be head coaches.
Yeah,
what
if you love your life as the OC?
Jaden Daniels.
What if and Dan Quinn's awesome, backwards hat.
Yeah.
Vibes great.
What they say, like with how much coordinators are making now too. Like, I mean, yeah, sure. If you're going to be making 15 to 17 million a year, it might be hard to. But like, if you're making 5 to
10 million, and you don't have to deal with any of the shit.
Exactly, and you got a guy who has already proven, like, yeah, he's a fucking guy,
and already paid.
Yeah,
like Cliff's already been paid as a head coach.
Exactly.
So
he wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, he can sit and wait for the right opportunity for sure.
Yeah, and we say all this, and then inevitably, if somebody gets offered a job, they're like, "There's only 32 of those. I'm going to take."
Yeah, like how you going to turn a head coaching gig down?
Yeah. Also, I think you could if you like the Saints. People are saying like the Saints job, like.
Now, if you have a bunch of options, if you're a coach that is in high demand and you have multiple different options, I don't think you're picking the Saints right away.
Yeah, but it feels like the conversation about it is very similar to how the NIL is affecting like kids going into the draft, where like assistant coaches are getting paid very well now. So it used to be like, what's the check the head coach is getting? I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah,
and that is why. And now, granted, the power and running your own building and everything like that is obviously something, and having a vision of what your team should be. But now it's like with these new owners, especially at the Commanders, brand new owners, and there's no salary cap for how much you pay assistant coaches. I'd be excited to see what happens if Cliff Kingsbury tells them like, "Hey, I've been offered this head coach job. You bump this up to what?" Like allegedly, what happened with Coach Arians.
Yep.
Allegedly, what happened with Coach Bruce Arians, he got offered a head coaching job, just said, "Hey." at Indianapolis. He was OC, interim head coach. Obviously, we all remember that year. He's Brazilian. He's been around a long time. If you bump my pay to this, it's like, I'll just stay here and be OC. Allegedly, that was met with an interesting answer, and then all of a sudden, boom, now he's head coach. But that was with Andrew Luck. That was with, he didn't want to deal with all the shit. He had just been... So, maybe we are in a time where people pick and choose and decide what they want to do, but Cliff Kingsbury's a dog. We know that, and he's winning and having great success right now.
He also signed with Washington because they offered him one more year than Vegas.
Mm-hmm. But you also look at talking about being able to kind of pick and choose. Like the Bears, good, bad, or indifferent. Like they have unrealistic expectations there. Like you look at the Lions in that division, the Packers and the Vikings right now. Like they drafted Caleb and still had a bunch of holes, and people were like, "Well, this team should make the playoffs this year based on how well they played at the end of last year." And you look at the track record of what they've done with the previous head coaches. It's basically like, hey, if you don't win or don't make the playoffs in 2 to 3 years, like you're gonna get fired. So is it like, do you want to just start that whole fucking carousel over again when, like you said, you're an OC in Washington, and look how good things are for him right now, probably.
Good luck, Chicago. You'll figure it out.
Good luck. Always only 32 jobs. He'll win. And then with him, how young he is, he goes, let's say he goes to Chicago and it doesn't work out. He knows the quarterback already. I think that's a big part of it too. But you go there and it doesn't work out, it'll be an offensive coordinator again. You go there for 2 years, they think, oh, we know what Cliff does we saw what he did with Jaden, we saw what he did here, so he'll get another shot. I think he'll take it if that opportunity presents itself.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from hangdang_58. What up, Zach? Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but I'm sure Big Mike's played his fool as the head coach, but by the looks of it, he has seen a lot of fool plays in his life.
Jeez.
The team is soft because the coach looks like a fucking beanbag chair. Fire his ass today.
That's mean.
Come on.
Yeah. Got a good hearty chuckle out of this one.
Ty, didn't you?
That's
Ty went through them. These are probably some of the ones that weren't as mean as others, I'm guessing, right, Ty?
I got a good hearty chuckle.
Beanbag chair's a good pull.
It was. Well, it was like either, okay, we can do the same, like, fucking geriatric Jones needs to kick the bucket, or I was like, you know what, we can...
Beanbag him.
This guy is pissed because Mike McCarthy's fat and they're not any good. So, yeah, let's shine some light on that.
All right, Zach. Big Mike, good luck then.
Good luck.
Good luck. Good luck.
How come Shefty's answer every time we ask about Mike's job is, who are you going to replace him with? Isn't it the same with every head coach who gets fired?
Every position.
Yeah.
Every position, everything, yeah. I mean, there's obviously somebody dances around. Speaking of, Bill really danced around the coaching thing.
Oh, he is the best at that.
I do not
so good. And the fishing question, too. He just goes right. He starts promoting something else that he did. He does a really good job of that.
You said, what's that?
Say that. What he said.
The fishing question.
Zito said that TMZ wrote an article on the fishing question, I guess.
Oh, yes.
Great. I'm sure he's pumped about it. I do not remember agreeing to anything about coaching conversations.
You probably didn't.
Hey, that's going to happen. Probably a lot more.
Yeah,
as we roll on.
Continues, yeah.
As we roll on here, I think that's going to take place. He was, I do wonder, because he's fishing. We see him fishing.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing all these shows.
Pumpkin patching.
He's living in NFL Films. Mm-hmm. It's like, how many wins away is he from the record?
I think he's 15.
Oh. It's like that's just sitting there still.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we?
It's not going to be New Orleans. Tell you that much.
They're calling. Teams are calling already for sure.
It ain't going to be the Jets either.
It's not going to be the two that are open right now. No way. He's not going to sign up for $80 million in dead cap. You heard him.
Yeah, they've kind of kicked the can down the road, and the way Schefter said it, they've always been very good at forecasting and working through the salary cap. And then Bill Belichick's take is, they're really behind the fucking 8 ball on it. That is two very different views of the entire situation. All right, let's get to another overreaction.
Chicago, though.
Ooh.
That would be one that I think.
Chicago because of the legend, just legendary.
Yeah, just like the history of the team and everything, and then you just think about like the defense. They got great players. The offense, you bring someone in.
Matt Patricia come run the offense.
Yeah, fucking Josh McDaniels.
He's out there.
Yeah, I mean that would be the one that I would kind of circle as far as just.
Why don't you ask him next week?
I will. Right,
ask
him.
Do
it for sure.
Sounds like he'll answer it.
No, based on what he said today.
All right, let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from Josh Gilbert. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Kirk Thuggins, Perk Cousins, Kirk O'Chains, whatever you want to call him, has ATL buzzing. You go out and let Terry cook on the defensive side of the ball, this group of dirty birds will be able to walk into anyone's trap and take it over. Kirk Cousins is he's found himself right at home down there.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, everybody talks about it, but his family actually from there. His wife's family actually from there. It's like Kirk Cousins is the answer. And obviously with draft night and everything that took place, we didn't know how it was going to go. He's fit in swimmingly down there, D-Butch.
It's about how you respond in this league, and Kirk Cousins has responded. And they put a good team around him, great play caller. Everything is going good right now. So if I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan, I feel great about where our season's going, especially with the shit show that the NFC South is right now.
No cap, no cap, no crap, no crap. Walk in your trap, take over.
Yeah, we fight no cap. I would love to just hear just some sort of practice like story or whatever about Michael Penix, though. It does make me so curious about it.
Like Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes.
Bingo, yeah. Like, could you imagine if after this year the Falcons go to the playoffs, maybe win a game, and then they're like, all right, we're trading Kirk Cousins to New Orleans.
And that's what Kansas City did with Alex Smith for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, just to hear, just to want. And I mean, we haven't talked about it. We probably won't because he's out the entire year. But like the Vikings are not going with J.J. McCarthy next year.
Sam Darnold's a real deal.
He is nasty.
And he's only $10 million or something this year?
Yeah.
God, they're in a good spot. All right, let's go to another overreaction, shall we? This is from Nick Dunham. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but the Colts stink. The season has started off with so much promise, just quickly going off the rails. Fire everyone, cut everyone. It's time for a true rebuild. I'm tired of watching the same old Colts.
Oh.
What's the gift there?
It's a train. It's a train going off the tracks.
Yeah, down into
Is that the O&O train?
I thought it was
They have 4 wins.
Yeah, we got 4 wins. It's not over yet, Nick. Sure, we don't know who should be quarterback. Sure, we've paid everybody.
We do know. It's AR. He learned his lesson.
Mm-hmm. Put him in.
Jason Bean's still there. Maybe give him a shot.
I'm not completely out on the flack. Okay, let's give him another week. See what happens.
Who do they have this week? Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah. So you can chalk that one up. To what?
To what? A big dub?
To a big fat L. Put in AR.
At home.
It's time. The future is now. It's Anthony Richardson's team. Let him cook.
All right. Okay. I mean, maybe
He stayed. He was the last. I cannot stress this enough.
Stop hands.
He was the last person on the field at half.
That's good leadership. That's what we're talking about.
He learned. He
Yeah.
didn't do that last week. He
Sure.
fucking tapped out with the locker room before everyone else did.
Stop hands.
Maybe he was tired.
All right, everybody. Anthony Richardson is the future. We know that.
In future.
He had the same stats as Josh Allen. It's got to happen. Everybody knows that's how it works.
They never benched Josh.
Sure.
Well, that's because the team fucking stunk. But
Maybe we just get some Red Bull in the building.
Let's wake people up.
Yeah. Let's get
All right.
fired up, boys.
It's an interesting spot because we're still very much in
Is
it.
he not sleeping enough?
Let's see where we are 5 weeks from now. Let's see where we are 5 weeks from now.
If they are
And maybe he does need to track his REM sleep with the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To Whoop
You guys
or
got
Apple Watch.
Hyperbaric chambers in that facility, or
Yep.
I'm sure there's something in there to get better. And he's using all of them because he learned
or
last
do you get
week.
coffee in that facility?
Yeah, there's coffee. I think they got
He's a
blonde
young
roast.
kid.
They
He
got
doesn't like
Nice.
coffee.
Was Carly right behind Shane this week?
couple times. Yeah, and I'm learning that a lot of people didn't know that was happening. Years.
plays.
This has been happening for years.
I ain't new.
It's years.
Is she talking? Is she talking on the headset?
Speaker is always up, but I'm sure there's been a time where it's come down and said, "Can you repeat what you just said about the defensive coordinator there, Mr.?" Like, that's the biggest thing. And we've had our questions, obviously, but this has been years of this. People are just not learning this. First of all, she always looks phenomenally fresh. Her fits are fantastic.
Always.
We're talking full deal. She has a sleeve on, though. She has a notebook. And she has the headphones. Has been this way since Frank Reich. So she got caught on camera. Obviously, she was much closer than normal. Normally, she kind of stays away from everything. But I think this is her trying to learn the ins and outs of everything if she's going to be the one that's going to be the owner and the operator of a team in the future.
That's close.
But if I was a coach, I'm not 100% sure how much I would like my boss hearing everything I'm saying on game day. You know, you got to be filtered. Is that holding things back? We don't know. But I do know Carly's doing it so that she can, I think, feel more at home.
Gathering information. Gathering info.
Yeah,
I saw him pulling Shane back a couple times. So
Yeah, she was get back coach there for a bit, obviously.
Was she really the get back coach for him?
Yeah, I think she did. I think she took one hand and said, "Get over here."
I think it's when Steichen leaves, they don't have to hire a head coach. She's just going to fucking step right in.
I mean, yeah.
We don't know how many plays she has called yet.
She used to be in the corner and got a little close to the bench. Now she's right behind the coach. The next step, I think, is
putting that son bitch down.
Does he ever turn around and
Let's
she's
go,
right there?
AR.
Like, oh God!
Yeah.
Do you
Holy
think she ever scares him? Where you turn around, you know, and someone's like right there. That probably happens a few times a game. Jeez, whoa,
Jesus.
Or somebody starts talking on there. Could you imagine somebody starts losing their mind and all of them like,
Yeah.
Channel 4, Channel 4. Different channel.
What was that?
So that's how you really feel, huh?
That is interesting. That's got to be the only team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's been happening for years. But it does feel like everybody's catching up. Everybody's starting to find out
Is
about
there a
it.
certain amount of headsets allowed on the sideline?
Good question. I don't know if she's taking up a spot. I think it's been added.
There is probably a rule, though. I bet there's a rule. You can only have a certain amount.
Yeah, definitely.
For the good of the future of the program. Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there are some coaches that say, no, I'm not fucking doing it.
Yeah.
No way.
No way.
I haven't seen a Florio article about it, her taking in someone's headset, so I doubt it's a rule.
It's a good point.
True. Florio's.
He would do it.
He's about done with it.
Yes.
I'm sick of having to go to bat for this NFL. They keep doing this bullshit. It's like, all right, Florio. Hey, we appreciate you, Florio.
You gotta keep going.
Keep going, Paisan.
Is he writing a book?
What was that?
Father of Mine?
No,
Tell me, where have you been?
Yeah, a couple of them. His dad worked for the mob, right?
Weird.
Yeah.
Was the mob.
I don't know.
He's a book.
Allegedly.
I don't know how deep he was in all this.
Bulky Mike. That's all.
Mikey numbers.
Let's go to another overreaction, shall we? Last one here from Freddie Tameka at Lone Ace. Hashtag I don't want to overreact, but Geno Smith stinks. They wrote me off, but I ain't write back stuff. Maybe write back next time, okay? With fewer interceptions. 3 picks, 2 in the fourth. Come on, Geno. They should keep writing you off at this rate. I think Freddie's just disappointed. Not mad, just disappointed.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I think. And Geno was in that game. Could have won that game.
Could've.
You're going to play bad sometimes. You're going to have to get some wins. This McDonald transfer transition era is going to be an interesting one. Because, they did just kick Pete Carroll the fuck out.
Football gods, brother, took all the Legion of Boom shit off the walls. You just can't do it. Get out of here, Pete. Everything you've done, get out.
Yeah, I think that is a little bit of something. But, hey.
Crowd's not loud anymore.
I can't believe the Bills Mafia just walked in their trap and actually took over their trap.
That's Bills Mafia football.
It is.
The Rams fans didn't do it.
It wasn't Rams' house?
They don't
even have their own house.
Yeah, exactly.
They do have
It is their house.
Their owner paid for that whole thing.
Yeah, but they lease it out a lot.
Remember that NFC Championship against the Niners?
That was a Niners house.
At SoFi?
Whose house?
It was the Niners house.
It was the Niners house. All right. Let's get the fuck out of here. What a Monday.
What a
Monday.
Can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow, NFL trade deadline, Tuesday, November 5th.
Jesus.
AJ, you know that.
Big day. Big day for the NFL.
Next 24 hours in the world should be good.
Yeah.
Very, very positive.
Should be interesting.
No, I'm sorry.
Super positive.
36.
Super positive.
Yeah.
Next 36 hours should be very, very positive.
Listen to a lot of people, it's going to be a lot longer than 36 hours.
Depends how long it takes them to add up all the trades.
Okay.
That's
a lot of trades happening. They
It's going
said
to take a minute. Yeah.
a lot of people not in the league trading stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on allegedly, but I'm sure it'll all get worked out. I choose to believe that it will work out how it's supposed to.
That's right.
Even though there's a lot of people that think that's not possible. And if you think about it, probably pretty easy too. But can't go down that road.
No.
Can't go down the road because once you do that, then what else? You gotta start questioning everything.
You coach your whole identity.
Yeah, can't do that.
You
Let's just assume that everything's going to work out on NFL trade deadline day how it's supposed to work out. Fair, square, good. And the world's going to come together around it on the other side of the NFL trade deadline day.
That's right.
Everybody's going to say, team got better today. Our future's better than our today.
Team America got better.
That's what everybody's going to say.
Ran the pick six defense.
That's what everybody's going to say. All right, I'm excited. That's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
That's what's about to happen over the next 36 hours. Everybody's going to come together and say, yup, that was what's supposed to happen. All right.
Definitely.
Okay. Yeah. I'm juiced up about it. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We're in this thing together. Come on. Team on me. Let's never forget that. Next 36 hours, we are in this together. We have to fucking live here together.
Yeah.
So let's enjoy it all. And let's be kind to our neighbors. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.